All righty. What is going on, fellas? We got a kind of a mid game tonight. Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know. I'm not overly ecstatic about this one, but if you're a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins manager, DK Metcalf manager, I'm sure you're excited for this game.
I'll tell you what. This might be the only time I've ever actually been excited to have it to be a Jaylen Warren manager, because the Cincinnati defense looks like the most disinterested defense at tackling a running back I have ever seen in my life, outside of maybe the Cowboys.
I just realized I actually have someone playing tonight.
Jaylen Warren in your home league?
No, I have the Steelers defense.
Oh, tone setting. Yeah, dude, fucking the Jaylen Warren. I was looking at his props and stuff. Like, he's like 70 plus yards from scrimmage, and he's like minus 120, minus 130 to score. So, like, am I crazy to actually be excited right now for that?
I mean, maybe it could be a Kenneth Gainwell game, though.
Fair. I think it's more likely that Warren would get more work the week he wasn't on the injury report than the vice versa. Sorry.
Yeah.
But like, maybe that's copium. Yeah. Whatever English it sounded like. Maybe that's copium because I have him. You can let me know that, but like,
it is.
The prop is exciting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely exciting still. What do we got in the chat here? What's up? What's going on, fellas? Also, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But let's just put it this way. Danny may not be the only one who made a trade in the Flock League this week. And Team FSE has accounted for 10 of the total 14 trades that have taken place in the league. And 2 of those that we didn't account for were like Malik Washington for $5 fab. Badake and Zach had a trade like that. So all of the usual suspects, there was some trades that went down.
Also, Bush. Okay, I got to address this as well. You guys are going to see it in the next vlog. Like, we're actually talking about some more Flock League beef. We're not just talking about, oh, yeah, here's our matchup. This is one flexing. Like, no, we got a little bit more WrestleMania kind of built into it.
Yeah, I know. Avery and Mason were talking some shit about my trade, so I had to throw the hammer down.
Did you see what happened?
Admitted to me he was rage baiting, and I fell for it, so that sucks. But
mine wasn't rage bait. Mine was. I guess that's a spoil. You'll see what the beef was going on. And maybe you got a preview of it at the end of last video.
Yeah, for
the outro was fire, by the way.
It was. Yeah, you did. He did kind of cook you there on the outro. I saw somebody used by Emeka Egbuka as like a meme, like of me crying in the shower.
Yeah, I saw that. I sent it to you.
I know. I laughed when I saw that. I was like, oh, somebody used me as a meme. That's elite. But anyways, let's get into we have about 40 questions or so, a couple of team reviews. As always, I will drop the link in the chat for those of you guys that may want to get your question answered. You will 100% get it answered today. We're starting to get to that point in the season. Maybe it's injuries, I'm not sure, but where the viewership of fantasy football content starts to taper off just a little bit. So I would say you guys are going to get better answers to your questions. You're going to have more opportunity to get team reviews more in depth and that kind of thing. So M. Waller's the first one we have here. Neighbors is my star. My team is very injured. So this is a Dynasty 1 quarterback, 12 teams, start 9. He'd be getting basically, again, we have no idea how to account for these ones. They both say early to mid first. So I have no idea if one's expected to be earlier than the other. At this point in time, I can maybe quickly double check on the team. And then JSN in an early to mid second. So he'd be trading away Neighbors essentially. Let's call it a wash at the first round pick for the time being. Okay, so he has Neighbors. This Levine guy is who his first is.
Number 2 team.
Number 2 team. Okay, so I mean, early to mid seems dramatic based on the number 2 team in the analyzer here. This guy's team is good. I mean, this is a mid to late first that you'd be giving up, and then the guy making the trade with you, for some reason, he doesn't actually have a 1 listed here.
I'm assuming probably on the back end right now, everything might say early to mid 1. That's the only explanation I can have.
Yeah, fair enough. If it's Malik and a mid to late 1 for JSN and early to mid 1 and 2. I would say that's probably a fair trade. Your team is very injured is the key words here. If your team is very injured and you're not going to win anyways, I would say you're probably better off just holding Neighbors. and maybe selling off and shedding some production pieces. Maybe
because Bowers is also hurt.
Yeah, Bowers is also hurt. Like, is somebody willing to, like, you don't really have any older players that you should necessarily be selling, but like Spears just popped up as a good waiver ad. Can you cash out on him? Charbonnet, maybe you could cash out on somebody
DeAndre
like that.
Swift limited.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift limited. Maybe Menengai is possible. I picked him up in my home league as well. Generally, I think if this is a mid to late one in Neighbors for an early to mid 1 and 2 in JSN, if you want to still make this deal, I think it's in a vacuum pretty fair. I just in a rebuild situation, quote unquote, I would rather have Malik.
Sure. I guess I can't even say this out loud because people don't even know that like who I got off of waivers. So it was just funny. You saw the exchange in chat today, right? The two
the trade that you made?
Well, yeah. Well, the trade and then subsequently, like
I guess technically you made another trade that I didn't even mention, but I mean it wasn't like significant.
People don't even know that I had this guy on the roster, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll give you guys this summary. I picked someone up for $5 and I sold them for $10 2 days later. That's the summary of the trade.
There you go. That's elite right there. Also, I have 0 fab dollars because I spent the last of my fab on Kamani Vidal last week. Yeah. And now you have, like, you had 0 fab dollars in week 2 after the Byshell Tootin debacle, and now what do you have, like 30 fab dollars or something?
I have almost $40. Like,
I don't know how the hell you're gaining money as the season went along.
Well, I mean, most of it came in the Tajay for Wandale deal, which, by the way, now the Giants are a big player to trade for a receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that almost helps Wandale. I don't think he belongs being the #1 target of any team.
Maybe, but like, also, if he's not getting 7 or 8 targets, what's he giving you?
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. I think Chris Olave is going to be a Giant if I had to guess. Chris Olave, I think, will be the most likely. I know Waddle could get traded as well. I think Olave is going to get dealt.
I also think Waddle is because he took Miami out of the bio today.
Yeah.
It's near the deadline. It's a tanking team.
When is the deadline?
Week 9, no?
Is it actually that soon?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was like Thanksgiving?
Let me see.
I guess it's because that's when fantasy deadlines are.
Yeah.
The trade deadline is November 5th. Yeah, that's like, I'm going to the Colts and Bucks game in week 11, so that's probably week 10, if I had to guess.
Bills and Bucks, right?
What did I say?
Colts and Bucks.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Bills and Bucks. Yeah, I just thought of last time I went to a Bills game in November was the Colts, Jonathan Taylor 5-touchdown game.
Oh, yeah, Dylan, is that week 10 then? So I said week 9.
I think it's probably week 10.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, well, same shit, different smell.
Yeah, either way, like, that's coming up relatively soon, and I can't actually say anything because, this player in this deal actually might be relevant to the trade deadline as well, because we did get a report today that if Kamara got traded, like, he'd be just sipping pina coladas or whatever.
He's saying he would retire.
Yeah, is that what he said?
He basically says, he's like, I'm not getting traded. If you try to trade me, I'm just not going to report to the team I trade for, is basically the implication I got from that.
That's interesting.
Because otherwise, why would he say I'm sipping pina coladas? It's like when you sip pina coladas, it means
like, maybe it's like an I don't give a shit thing. Like, I'll just do what I'm told kind of thing. I don't. You're probably right. He's probably just saying he'll retire in that case.
Yeah, like let me see if I can. Oh, because I just read the headline. I didn't actually read what the report said. Is it going to be on NBC Sports?
I don't. Yeah, I saw it came out from, what was it, Mickey? Like, not Mickey Loomis. Sorry, Kamara basically just said, like, yeah, don't fucking trade me. Like, don't you dare. Which is, it's weird loyalty to it. I get, like, this is the team that drafted you and gave you the big contract extension and whatnot, but it's weird that you're that loyal to a bad football team.
Simply put, trade him and he retires is what Sleeper NFL tweeted about it.
Interesting.
So
kind of wild that he has that kind of loyalty to that dog shit franchise, but makes sense. I mean, they drafted him in the 3rd round. He ended up getting a generational wealth contract out of them. I kind of wish more players were like Alvin Kamara in that regard.
Sure, but he's like so counterintuitive. Exactly what he represents is just so counterintuitive to what the Saints are trying to accomplish. Like,
I know. I know. It would make way more sense for them to just play Kendre Miller and see what they have in that. Maybe get Devin Neal some reps or whatever. Cam Scatterbo for Kendre Miller and Ladd McConkey. Is Kendre enough of a piece to balance out this deal, or are you just still taking Scatterbo?
I got to take Scatterbo here, especially knowing the running back thirst in most markets.
Yeah, and I have Ladd pretty aggressively ranked, so even I'm a little bit not in on that deal. JJ Toda Ship. Also, quick shout out to the Jays for a monster win last night because I wasn't even going to watch the game, and then they started bombing some runs, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll watch this.
Did you say JJ Toda ship?
What's wrong?
JJ Toda ship?
Toda ship.
Toda ship.
JJ Toda ship. JJ Toda ship. We got Jay Dirty is his name here. He said, am I cooked? Was his only question. So start 7, 12 team, 1 quarterback. Am I cooked? Meaning that Puka Nacua, Buka, and Marvin Harrison are all injured right now.
But he's 6-0, so it's like you can weather the storm, brother. You're fine.
Yeah, you are fine. Like if you think about it this way,
pick up Burden.
Let's say, pick up Burden and Io Manor for what it's worth. Actually, I would probably pick up Io Manor over Burden. Let's say you lose 3.
On this team, I pick up Burden. This team might pick up Burden over Io Manor.
Well, he probably needs somebody to start this week. That's why I would say pick up Io Manor. I would rather have Io Manor than Whittington as a starter for the next couple of weeks.
Dude, this week I have Whittington top 36.
Oh, there's no way. Io Manor is alone in that receiver core.
And Whittington played 92% of the snaps after Puka got hurt. He's the wide receiver.
Io Manor's been doing that all year.
For the Titans.
Yeah, I know, but he's still good enough to earn targets and whatnot. Either way,
he's a good player, but I would start Whittington this week.
Sure, whatever. If it's not a major difference if you prefer Whittington, I personally would prefer Io Manor. But let's say, worst case scenario, Harrison's out this week, he's on bye next week. Emeka Egbuka's out this week, he's on bye in week 9. Puka Nacua's out this week, he's on bye next week. You could lose 3 in a row and be 6-3. Yeah. Like you are fine. Don't do anything. Don't do anything rash here. Don't trade anybody away. Like try and weather the storm. Maybe if you go 1 for 2 the next 3 games, just feel very happy with yourself.
One thing I do have to say out loud, and like I'm sure you can agree with this as well. It is hilarious the context of how like Mason and Sal try to say, "Oh, FSC doesn't care about winning." It's like we don't care about winning every single fucking week. We care about what's best in the long term of the team. If you're 6-0, is it really going to matter whether you're 7-2 or 9-0 realistically? If the 7-2 actually gets you further in the playoffs?
Yeah, not to mention like you could still be in contention for a bye in that situation. And like the other thing too is like you could still win games while sacrificing some short-term value. Like like Mason and Sal call it like saying that we're not focused on winning games right now. It's like, dude, all we have to do is like weather the storm, make a couple of good pickups, couple of good start-sit decisions. And like, dude, I almost beat Avery in week 5 with no Bijan or Lamar Jackson. I would have beaten everybody else in the league. I started Blake Corum and Isaiah Pacheco in my running back spots, and I would have beaten everybody in the league that week. Like all you have to do is make some good decisions here and there, and you'll be fine.
So Corey, let me ask you this question. What 3 weeks matter the most in fantasy football?
15, 16, and 17.
So why do people give a fuck what happens week 8 and week 9?
I mean, they're probably thinking, oh, you got to make it to the playoffs to be able to be in that stuff. But like, I don't know. You're 4-2. I'm 3-3 with the 4th most points for in the league. Like, I don't know. I feel decent about it.
By the way, hilarious other bit, like just always talking about my points for as if like there's context as to why that's the case.
Yeah. No, so Nick cut it out of my clip, but I said the reason he's so low in points for is because he literally tanked week 5 when his whole team was on bye. If you look at his other weeks, he's been fine in points for.
I had 2 empty fucking lineup spots and I had 3 backup like running backs and shit in my lineup. Yeah. And people are like, oh, Danny, you can't put up points.
Yeah. No, not to mention your 1st round pick has been injured for like 4 weeks. But yeah, anyways, looking at your team, are you cooked? Absolutely not. You are in fine shape. You can, again, drop a I would rather roster Io Manor and Luther Burden than Jalen Coker and Jordan Whittington, to be honest with you, because then you'd have the long term of Burden plus the short term of Io Manor. But I also like Coker too. I mean, it's possible he makes his debut this week. Just figure it out. Maybe you'll get some wins. I mean, Josh Downs might be out this week too because he's also dealing with a concussion. But hopefully you get some wins. That's all.
Canales basically confirmed that he will be back.
Okay, well that's good news. But there's nothing you can really do trade wise other than that. Like you kind of just have to hope that Caleb has monster games and Achane has monster games and stuff because Hampton's I would imagine Hampton will be back at the latest week 13, when the Chargers are on bye in week 12 and he comes back after the bye. I would say that's probably the latest Hampton comes back, but it's looking more like your best case scenario is like week 11 is when he's back on the field. So it's not a great situation for Amari and Hampton managers like myself in my home league, because I also have Hampton and I'm kind of down tremendously at the moment.
Yeah, so Box Munchers, my year is cooked because that's where I have Hampton. Like I have Hampton, I have Benson, I have fucking like my whole team basically ended up getting hurt. I drafted Chase Brown. Like it's clearly my worst redraft team. Like it's not even a debate because obviously in the listener league, my team's looking good, my flock league team looking good, but my home league team, I don't even think it's close. I think it's by far my best. I literally hit on almost every single pick, and that's a team that lost Burrow too. Keep in mind, I lost Burrow, supplemented that because I got Daniel Jones, and now I got Brock Purdy because somebody dropped him. So I feel good about my quarterback core long term. Trey McBride's starting to finally produce. So like I drafted him in the 3rd round. But the main reason why this team is clicking is that despite having Saquon Barkley, my wide receivers are Rome Odunze, Devontae Adams, Drake London, and George Pickens.
Yeah. That's crazy. I finally got a response back from Thomas after pestering him about 3 or 4 trades this week. You know what his response was? Not really interested in Dak Prescott. I'm like, you're starting Kyler Murray, brother.
Oh, dude. I'm not going to expose, but
he's like the 3rd best quarterback in fantasy right now.
I'm not going to expose, but I've gotten that answer quite a bit. A bit.
And I mean, in Thomas's defense, I've asked him every Monday morning, so you ready to deal Brees yet? Every Monday morning, I text him, you ready to deal Brees yet?
Dude, he strong-armed me on fucking Henderson for so long, and now I don't even know if I want to trade for Henderson.
Yeah, literally. He should have traded Henderson 4 weeks ago. Please talk about Bucky and what the timetable is. The timetable is that he's probably going to be back after the bye. Probably similar to Emeka Egbuka based on everything that I've seen. It's possible he's back next week, but we're playing the Saints. Like, I think if Evans is back and Evans is healthy, I think Godwin, Bucky, Luke Gadecki, and Emeka Egbuka are probably all coming back after the week 9 bye. And that's like a very severely needed bye week for all of us.
So what exactly was the injury labeled as?
Like it sounds like the shoulder is the concern that they're having problems with, but he's also still on the injury report with both every week. So it's like hard to figure out which one is the one actually causing the issue.
Got you. Yeah, I thought about making Zach an offer, but realistically, our rosters now probably don't match up. If I somehow was able to work that into the Puka deal, that would have been awesome. But I made an offer to Badaki for Trey Benson. It doesn't really sound like he's liking it. I basically
would have sold him a long time ago if I was Badaki, dude. If somebody offered you a good flex option for Trey Benson, like I would have done that a while ago. But I guess maybe he's thinking just I'll keep Trey Benson because by the end of the season, when I have to beat somebody out of the toilet bowl, I can use Trey Benson kind of thing.
Thank God he didn't accept Jaden Daniels for Trey Benson because I wouldn't have Puka Nacua on my team right now.
Yeah, sometimes the best deals that you send out are the ones that don't get accepted at times.
Another example of that, by the way, with Thomas, I saw when I looked through our message history before the season started, I have offered him Bigsby plus Roma Dunze for Travion Henderson. He said no.
Yikes, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else on this team? Pretty straightforward. Just weather the storm as best you can. Yeah. Worst case scenario, you go 0-3 by the time your team is back healthy, and you should be just fine going forward.
On top of that too, you got like a guy rising like maybe I'm bullish or maybe I'm biased because I have him on my team, but there's a reason why I traded for Tajay Spears. I genuinely think in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about this guy as a starting running back in Tennessee. I think Pollard might actually get traded too. That's another possibility.
To quote you earlier in the stream, it's the fucking Titans.
Yeah, fair point. Hey, Kenny garbage time his way to 5 catches a game. That's all I ask for.
Yeah. John says, I can't wait till my stainless steel pan arrives. Shout out, dude. That's Team Unk right there. I just use my stainless steel pans to cook up. I don't even know what you call it. I just took like some ground turkey and like chickpea pasta and shit and made like a thing with it. Maria made actually most of it. I'm capping at the moment.
Shout out, by the way. Fighting solves everything. I agree.
Fighting solves everything. Also, this is a good way to get your question answered. Bucks and Cowboys related question. Would you prefer getting Lamb or Jacobs plus Evans in return for Puka? Lamb or Jacobs plus Evans. I think of the two options, depending on like with your 1 and 5, if you're lacking depth, I would say Jacobs plus Evans is a pretty decent return. But I think I'd rather just get Lamb in a vacuum.
So he's selling Puka. Yeah. So he asked us in our YouTube comments. I said if you're gonna do one of them, I'd prefer to do Lamb. Because it's like, even because theoretically it's like, yeah, like if they were both playing the same amount of games, you would take Puka given what he's shown this season. But given the 2 extra games, and maybe Puka is a 25 point per game scorer, Lamb can be a 22 points per game scorer. If you're 1-5, you need those extra couple weeks of production. And it sounds like Lamb's not going to get limited. Like he said, he's not going to be on a pitch count. He said he could have played last week. It said they've been taken in by ear. And on top of that, you got the motivation of them playing a division rival. So, like, I think Lamb can return right away and be a top 5 guy very easily.
Yeah, he can, assuming he's 100% healthy. Like you said, he could have maybe played last week. Zay Flowers for Bill and Devontae Smith.
I want Bill
to start 7. I'm fine going for Flowers with this price tag. I think you should just be able to get a better receiver with this duo of players. Is kind of my only thought on this deal.
I want the Bill side here. The reason being too, I think given the opening schedule, not to mention this week going up against the Cowboys, just the market value of Bill is going to be higher than Zay Flowers, at least until Zay Flowers has Lamar Jackson back.
But he'll have Lamar Jackson back the next time you can play him, which is after the bye, which is next week. That's part of why I'm like not that worried about Flowers, is because when Lamar was healthy, he was fucking frying.
Yeah, which again,
him and Derrick Henry and Lamar are like the single best buy at wide receiver, running back, and quarterback respectively.
Yeah, you can make the case. I still would rather have the Bill side here because I think ultimately what we've learned from the market is if you're a running back with a pulse, you probably have market value.
Yeah. Again, I don't disagree with you. I think that's probably about a fair trade. I would prefer, like, if you could get into the, like, could you buy low on Ibuka for this price tag coming off of the injury? Like, I feel like that's probably more in the territory I'd be willing to pull trigger on. Dr. Brian Harris here, PPR league. My running backs, Bucky, Chase Brown, Charbonnet, Spears, Harvey, etc. My receivers, Puka, Rice, Olave, Jettas, Io Manor. Running backs not producing with Bucky out. So selling Jefferson, you would still have Puka, Rice, Olave, Io Manor, and you'd upgrade Barkley to your RB1, and Bucky, once he comes back, would be RB2. But in the short term, you got like Chase Brown and Charbonnet to work with. I think this is like a reasonably fair deal. Can you get some juice? Can you get fab? Can you get a bench piece? Can you get something back? Would be my only thing, because I do prefer Jefferson. I
have Jefferson at 10 and I have Barkley at 16 rest of the season. So I think I have to take the Jefferson side here.
Yeah, I think if you're getting something, then it's reasonable. I just would rather probably hold for the short term and maybe sell Olave for running back production instead. Because, dude, a Rice, Puka, and Jefferson 3-stack at wide receiver is lethal, my man. Like that would probably be really, really dominant. So maybe shipping off Olave or something instead and trying to get a running back piece with him might make some more sense. But it's not a bad offer. Tired drive here, accepted, but unsure if I should cancel. Is that a thing with Puka out? Probably going to lose, so I'll be 4-2. Okay, so Quentin Johnson, Ricky Pearsall, and Darren Waller for CeeDee Lamb. Dude, what do you mean? You should unsure if you should cancel. If you rob CeeDee Lamb for this, you should not cancel this trade. I don't care if your whole team is out this week.
Dog, what? Punt the week. If you have to start half a lineup, start fucking half a lineup. You got CeeDee Lamb for peanuts.
Yeah, this is precisely like some of the goes kind of hand in hand with what you did with Puka. Is like, if you're going to lose a week, you lose a week. Like, yeah, you don't want to lose weeks ideally. Like, you could still win it. But if you're going to sacrifice maybe that 1 week of production, like, A, Lamb is going to play, so he's going to give you a good chance of winning anyways. Oh, yeah. But B, maybe you have to start like a suboptimal flex option because Puka is going to be out. It's like, fine, whatever. Like, you'll live. Especially also since you said you're 4-2. Like, okay, you're 4-3 at the end of the week, worst case scenario, with CeeDee Lamb now and Puka Nacua paired up together.
Always got to get this guy in his return.
Yes. Amari and Hampton and Rico Dowdle in exchange for Romo Dunze and Charbonnet.
Fairy Jaw, we just touched this question. He was the one who was getting Zay Flowers. He said he did the deal because he just bought into the fact that the Ravens are going to have to go on a win streak, and he trusts Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers, he said. So
kind of my thought process as well.
Very fair play. Very fair play.
Think it's worth selling high on Rico. Yeah, I'm taking Odunze here. This is pretty straightforward. Yeah. Maybe Jack's asking about our pick'ems. Let's take a little recess here and talk about our pick'ems. We still got plenty of time to get to the rest of the questions. I can talk about mine here while you get yours loaded in.
Yeah.
In my
Also,
pick'em lobby or on Spicy's pick'em lobby, we had a Kevin Durant gimme pick. So we added that into Jalen Ward. I like him to go lower than 20.5 receiving yards. He's been below 40% of the routes in every game except for one this year. So I know Jalen Warren's kind of like this big play receiver. He could definitely burn me on this one. But I do think just process wise, the amount of routes he's getting, the amount of targets he's getting, I like him to go lower than those receiving yards. Andre Yoshivash, I'm not even kidding. This is the biggest free square pick'em I've ever seen in my life. Andre Yoshivash higher than 1.5 receptions. He had 7 targets last week, and he's run 90+% of the routes in 3 straight games. So I think him going higher than 1.5.
hurt, right?
Huh?
Because Jasicki's been banged up, right?
Maybe. I'm not exactly sure. His usage has just been really good all year, but specifically the last couple of weeks. Jamar to go higher than 74.5 receiving yards. I mean, 12 targets in his first game with Flacco speaks for itself. And then Kenneth Gainwell lower than 26.5 rushing yards. Every game that Warren's been active, he's been below this total, and he's only gotten 4, 5, 6, and 7 carries in those 4 games. So he's not a high volume rusher. He's going to get his volume out of the receiving game. So these are the picks that I'm personally rolling with tonight. And again, make sure to check your lobbies. You might have a Boostober profit boost token, the 30% profit boost, maybe even a 40 or a 50% there. And then there is a gimme pick for Jalen Warren tonight. If you guys want to, if you're worried about that one specifically, the one that I talked about at the beginning, you can swap that one out for the gimme pick if you are a new customer over on Underdog. And of course, if you're a new customer, you can use promo code FSE to get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. And when you make your first play, you'll also get $100 in bonus funds as well.
Yeah, I will say real quick, because you mentioned like the leg that like might fail me when I make sometimes. The one that I think might get you, and again, I do have him, but Jalen Warren was off.
I think that's the one that gets me for sure. If one gets me,
because when he was fully healthy in weeks 1 to 3, and we look at the usage, like what was it in week 3? He was like a bell cow. I remember that. 78% of the snaps, 81% of the rushing attempts, 60% of the routes. Obviously missed week 4. Week 6 didn't get his full workload, but I mean, he played 78% of the snaps versus 52% of the snaps. Like, I think it's more likely he probably finds his way halfway between that.
Yeah, I just think given that all of the games that he's played this year, minus that one kind of outlier where he did pop for a lot of usage, he's been below 40% of the routes. Like, even though he's getting a lot of the snaps, they are taking him out in favor of Gainwell. So I think playing it through the lower on his receiving yards is the way that I'm kind of approaching it. But like you said, it could be really stupid of me to fade him, who's getting, when he's gotten receiving opportunities, he's actually created a lot of big plays out of them. So I'm kind of worried that he gets 3 or more targets and I'm cooked. You know what I mean? Like, just based on how many yards per reception and whatnot he's averaging.
Yeah. Now, of course, I'm in a dilemma because I hope for the sake of our account, we can hit our pick 'em. I also hope he fucking carves it up in the flock league tonight. So I'll put mine in real quick as well. If I can. Oh, I'm in the overlay portion. My apologies. Also, you know how
overlay is where it goes.
No. I went through the wrong thing. I went through the like where the you know what I mean, like the use code and everything is.
Oh yeah.
What was I saying though? Oh, I had to take
an overlay on the screen. You just reminded me.
I had to take a second because I realized YouTube is the worst, and because you just don't get the auto set thumbnail, I always list it as unlisted and then do it on my phone. But that happened right before our stream, so I had to put the fucking short public.
Oh yeah, I mean
it's on TikTok and Instagram, but fucking I realized because YouTube you have to auto set it on your phone. You can't do it on PC.
Yeah, why'd you set it to unlisted? Didn't you upload this like hours ago?
I just put yeah. Well, I did it an hour ago.
Oh, okay. But I'm saying, why did you just put it up now? Is what I'm saying. Why didn't you hit public immediately?
Because I'm saying it was unlisted, but then the thumbnail wasn't on it. So what I usually do is I unlist it. Then on my phone, I put the thumbnail on it and put it public. But what I'm saying is I forgot to do that, so it was just unlisted. So, but I'm saying is YouTube is just so AIDS because why doesn't it just do that for me? Because every other platform just
I know it is really strange that it does that. I usually just make it public, and then for the first 10 seconds of the thing, it's got no thumbnail on it, and I just switch it.
And I'll do that moving forward. Yeah, it's just
you can for what it's worth. You can schedule it and then check it on your phone, even if it's scheduled. It doesn't have to be unlisted for that.
Fair enough. So I'll go through my picks real quick. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, I mean, if you do follow us on TikTok, if you follow us on Instagram, you would have seen this potentially. But pretty simple here. We'll start off with the Joe Flacco, higher than 36.5 pass attempts. He averages 41 pass attempts per game this season. He, in his Bengals debut, had 45 pass attempts. On top of that, 4 of the 5 starts with him averaging 41 per game came as a Brown. And as we know with the Browns, they are one of the bottom 5 teams in terms of pass rate over expectation. The Bengals, one of the top 8 teams in terms of pass rate over expectation. So Bengals, nearly 6-point home underdogs. They're going to have to throw the ball a ton. As we know with Joe Flacco, he's not a threat to scramble. I just think we're going to see a ton of pass attempts in this game. Sorry, you have input there?
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say something. My apologies. Next one here, we have Chase Brown lower than 64.5 rushing plus receiving yards. He's gotten comparatively his 2 worst usage games in back-to-back weeks. For comparison, weeks 1 and 2, 100% of the carries, 94% of the carries. Weeks 5 and 6, we're talking about 62% of the carries and 58% of the carries. So if he's not going to get the full share of the carries, and he's also running sub 50% of the routes, only one game this year where he's had over 50% of the routes, I will like him to go lower than this total. On top of that, he only averages 50.7 yards per scrimmage per game this year, and he's only had 97 in the last 2 games. So 64.5 kind of felt a little bit inflated, so we will take the lower there. Finally, Jaylen Warren, pretty simple. The Bengals are the 3rd worst. I've allowed the 3rd most rushing touchdowns on the year. 8 rushing touchdowns allowed in their game so far. On top of that, Jaylen Warren, if you look across sportsbooks, about a -120, about a -130 to score. So we like him to punch one in.
Yeah, those all make pretty good sense. Hopefully, for the sake of all my dynasty bags, Chase Brown burns you here. But yeah, let's keep it rolling here. So those are underdog picks. Again, you can check those out. And of course, new customers get the free pick, Jaylen Warren, as I made reference to. And of course, the 50% deposit match. Okay, hold on. D. Jarrett Shipe. Okay, hold on. D. Jarrett Hype.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it is. That's probably what it is.
Jarrett Hype.
Yeah, there we go. I'm so slow at reading names.
I want BTJ and Worthy.
Yeah, I think I probably want to keep BTJ and Worthy here. As much as I think Derrick Henry's a good buy low, just a little bit more risk than I want to inherit. Like if you were giving Derrick like Brian Thomas plus something small, like I'd be fine with it, but this is a little bit too much.
Also, you say I need a better running back than Dobbins. Like Dobbins is a legit top 15 to 20 running back this week.
I wish Dobbins was my RB2 in this long league.
Dude, I would do dirty things for an RB2 J.K. Dobbins right now. Dude, against the Jets
with Kenneth Walker. What do you mean?
Dude, do you see the report that came out today? How they want to run the football better? It's like maybe play the guy that's actually getting yards on his runs.
You realize like 70% of the snaps Charbonnet is what's going to happen this week, right?
I mean. I don't get it. How can you say to the media, I want us to run the football better? One of your backs actually gets you rushing yards. One of your backs runs behind the line of scrimmage and gets you 1 yard. It's a no-brainer. If you want to get more rushing success, play the guy that actually has success rushing.
Yeah, I don't know. Kenneth Walker's still bad.
No, he's not.
I don't know. I'm just rage baiting you. Brian Thomas and Xavier Worthy side is what we're taking there. Mackay here. Hopefully Mackay Hughes isn't submitting questions. Matthew Golden and George Kittle for Quinshawn. I want Judkins here.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty easily, to be honest.
Yeah, I like Judkins. I did everything I could to get him from Nathan. You guys, I kind of already alluded to the trade with you guys, but I won't say it exactly in case you haven't heard it. I tried my best. I think I'm going to have to at least wait another week before I pull a trigger, though.
For sure. Brock Purdy and Kenneth Walker in exchange for Tedero McMillan. 2 quarterback league, it says.
Oh,
so in a super flex league, I think this is probably a lot more fair. Purdy's going to have value in a 2 quarterback league, man. I think he's probably the best asset in the deal, to be honest.
I agree. I want that side as well. I love T-Mac, but realistically, if Purdy can give, top 12 to 15 quarterback value, which I think if he returns, I mean, the 49ers cannot run the football. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's averaging, 3.2 yards per carry. The offensive line's banged up. They are going to have to continue to rely upon the pass. On top of that, we've seen from Mac Jones, very, very efficient quarterback play. Ricky Pearsall, he has been out as well. What if he returns? Bernard Ayuk, what if he returns? George
Kittle's coming back this week, most likely.
Like to me, as soon as Purdy walks back in, you're probably looking at, like I said, at worst, the top 15 to 18 guy, but I'd probably put him closer to 12 to 15.
Yeah, Shanahan said in a presser yesterday that the return date target for Ayuk is week 10. So by week 10, Purdy could have Ayuk, Pearsall, and Kittle all out there with McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey will probably be injured by then, but without McCaffrey, they'll be throwing the ball like crazy. No, I'm just kidding.
With the way Sal's talking on you guys, with the way Sal's talking right now,
Sal is.
He keeps talking about my injuries. He keeps talking about my injuries all the time. Oh, Danny, he's a bye week team. Oh, Danny, he's got all this going on. I'm like, you are barking up the wrong tree of the fantasy gods. If you keep, putting
To be
that.
fair, though, he every single week he goes, "Somebody want to trade me for JT before his high ankle sprain comes?" Every single week in the league chat, he says that.
I think he's got the karma coming.
Yeah, I would feel exactly how Sal feels right now of having Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey touch the football 25 times a game. I'd be like, this is great, but how long is it going to last?
Oh, 100%. Like, I'm honestly shocked Sal hasn't sold one for like literally. You could probably get a Monter St. Brown plus right now from Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, if you were getting, let's say, James Cook and Xavier Worthy type offers for one of those guys, like that would be pretty enticing. Down tier,
probably need
back
another
in a little bit.
Like a bigger piece than who was the second one you said?
Worthy, maybe Flowers.
I'm like BTJ.
I mean, I prefer Flowers, so.
I mean, I would prefer BTJ. So, like, let's just say relatively, that would be it.
Like our wide receiver 16 or whatever.
Yeah, around there.
Jalen Hurts versus Lamar Jackson. I want Lamar. I know you got to take the bye week this week, but I think he's going to be back fine. And it's a risk. I get it, but as long as you're able to like kind of
quarterback league as well.
Quarterback league, yeah. I mean, you got to swing on the upside of Lamar Jackson in a super flex league. Hockey 91 here. Chris Olave for Quinshon Judkins straight. This is not even close. Quinshon Judkins. Judder. Please help me with my lineup. Would you swap anyone? I've had the worst luck this season. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay. Running back wise, you going to play Dobbins over Kamara this week?
Yes. Not even thinking twice. What?
Yeah.
Oh, easily.
You going to play QJ in this spot, or are you going to play McMillan or AJ Brown or Worthy here? McMillan is expected to see shadow coverage from Sauce Gardner.
Respectfully with Sauce, A, he shadowed less this year compared to past years. B, the Jets are still bottom 5 in defensive EPA. Hey, he can lock Tedero and McMillan down, and the defense still gives up 35 points, and he scores a couple touchdowns.
Yeah. Would you play Jalen? I mean, he'd be in your running back spot, not your flex. Just make sure that you do that. Would you play?
I would play Worthy.
These options.
I play Worthy, but I mean, let's look at my running back rankings. I know Warren's at least a top 20 running back given the matchup this week for me. Like, it's a really good fucking matchup. You can't get much better for Warren outside of maybe the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like, we're talking about Cincinnati the last couple of weeks not tackle.
Sure. Yeah, like I have where's Warren in my rankings here? Warren's my RB 16 this week.
Valid, honestly.
Yeah. So I think you got the right lineup set. It is wild that in the year 2025, we're telling you to sit AJ Brown in this question. It is wild that that's the case. But that's kind of where we're at with AJ Brown right now, which sucks. And I generally still think that how bad he's been makes me want to buy low on him. It's just like, fuck, what are you getting when it goes better?
No, I feel that.
That's one thing I might have to admit that I was wrong on. I mean, thankfully, of the two of them, I was much more invested in Devontae Smith, who's been better, but neither of them have been great. Bobo Boy 11 here. Bubble Boy. 4-2 start, trying to figure out what kind of moves I should be making, feeling a little bit weak at flex / quarterback and running back. Any direction / advice would be great. Thank you. Okay. So Mind Ayo Manners is his name. He is down to number 8 here. I mean, very weak at the running back position at the moment.
Let's just say you got to 4-2, basically how I got to 4-2 in the flock league.
Yeah. I mean, Vidal will get you by hopefully all the way up until Hampton comes back. Chase Brown, kind of just like a shitty RB2 for you at the moment. But I mean, you better pray that Haskins doesn't get more involved.
You got to go right now. And it's a 1 quarterback league. I understand what we just said about Brock Purdy. But I'm telling you right now, with your running back injuries, you need to go pick up Tajay Spears.
Honestly, I would just drop Whittington for him.
Yeah, if you're not starting Whittington
and off for the time being, because I do think I'd actually rather drop Loveland of the options that he has here.
That's fine. Like, honestly, you got 3 droppable players for you here. Tajay Spears needs to be a must pick up. I honestly, given the context of your running back core, you need to hit big on upside. I was going to say Algier and I was going to say Paishal too, your guys, if you want to hit on upside.
Yeah, I would honestly
they're 1 injury away from being top
Loveland and Whittington and stash Algier and Spears, in my opinion, because I think that those would be the best two. Like,
honestly, too, given the context of the team, I wouldn't even be opposed to dropping Purdy as well and getting 2. So you have 3 lottery tickets and one of them goes down. You have an every week RB2.
Yeah, you need to stash your bench with lottery tickets for sure. I personally dropped Haskins today in my home league.
Yeah.
So if anybody is
Droppable.
wondering, can they drop Haskins? I picked up Menengai for him because Swift got downgraded to limited. So that's why I dropped it.
I did that with Brashard Swift for Menengai. He's probably not even going to enter my lineup because like I told you, my lineup in my home league, Corey, like, yeah, quarterback week, Daniel Jones, and I have Brock Purdy, but my starting lineup this week is Saquon Barkley, Jalen Warren, Devontae Adams, Roma Dunze, Trey McBride, Drake London, George Pickens, and Rico Dowdle. So like Monungai's not even getting in, and like I would kill to have Monungai in the flock league with no Swift.
I know, isn't there? There's so many leagues. Last year, I remember I had like Bucky Irving on my bench in the listener league. I was like, you know how much crack I would smoke to get this guy on my flock league team?
It's starting to get there now that I'm healthy in the fucking listener league, dude. Because I'm like, if Henderson does become a thing, like I might be I have Lamb in the fucking IR. I'm gonna have to change that soon before we start the game.
Oh, dude, I'm literally so in the listener league. I'm in one of these positions where when you're like waiting for someone to get ruled out and you can't move your roster.
That's me
around.
right now. Yeah,
I'm waiting for Igbuka to get ruled out so that I can put him into my IR spot because I can't do anything to my starting lineup, and it looks like I'm gonna have to swap Downs out of my starting lineup and throw in. Looks like Chuba's probably going to end up playing based on everything that I'm seeing here. So, but yeah, I can't do anything to my raw. I'm not dropping somebody when Igbuka's eventually going to get ruled out later in the week.
Thank freak that I looked at the sleeper app because I realized I need to set all my lineups.
Yeah, we can hop off 10 minutes early so that you can do that.
You know how scary that is?
I set them all. Amir was changing my oil today. So I was doing that in the waiting room of his dealership or whatever. So,
quick question in the listen league. I'm assuming you're on the same page here. You're starting Hunter over Io Manor,
right? No, I'm not.
Really?
I would start Io Manor over Hunter.
I guess New England with Gonzo.
Gonzo's not been shadowing.
Fair. I don't know, man. He out targeted Io Manor this week.
I don't mind going Hunter there if you want to play for the upside. I just think that the volume definitely favors what's his name.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a tough one. I mean, I wish fucking Juwan Jennings didn't have 5 broken ribs. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, I have Io Manor as a top 36 receiver this week, and I have Hunter at wide receiver 39. So it's not really that far off for me.
Fair enough. It is nice knowing that I'm getting Rasheed and CD Lamb added to the lineup, though.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I kind of regret about making that trade with you is even though like in a vacuum I won the trade because I got Igbuka, like all the stuff was like kind of a wash except for me getting Igbuka over Hunter, and like I got the weeks out of Olave, but now it's not a wash between him and Rice. And the problem, I guess, if you just look at it, Igbuka for Rice was a wash, and then Olave over Hunter makes sense. But the thing that's shitty about it is that I don't have Igbuka probably for the next couple of weeks. So it feels like I'm going to get screwed, and it would be nice to have Rice entering my lineup in that situation. But it's weird to me that like I even did that. Like, why did I draft Rashee Rice? Like what
he fell to you
to do that?
Well, it was a wide receiver heavy board, and he like actually fell to you to like the end of the 6th round, I want to say.
Yeah,
he fell to you. Okay, I mean, it wasn't the end of the 6th, but you got him at the 602, and I think the next closest wide receiver on the board was like Matthew Golden and Chris Olave, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like for reference, the pick before Rashee Rice was DJ Moore.
Ew. What would you make any moves at running back with this team? I think I would. I think I would sell Jameson Williams high if you can to see if you can get a running back. Like, can you take Chase Brown plus Jameson Williams or something to try and sell high on a running back, or even potentially if somebody's interested in Vidal, who's like got a shitty record?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the low-hanging fruit here. If you're able to do that, I think I would definitely try to sell high, especially if you can consolidate. I mean, it's going to be impossible to get a Chuba or Cam Scottaboo there. Let's check. I mean, Ken Walker makes sense if you want an upside shot.
Yeah, maybe a decent option. I mean, this guy is Barkley and not a whole lot else. You could maybe make a play at Saquon. Like
that guy's
you have Jameson Williams and Hunter and Golden, these guys. I would be willing to do Tedderall, McMillan plus Chase Brown for Saquon if you could get away with that.
That guy's team is horrendous.
Yeah, it is horrendous.
Why does he have 4
tight ends?
Look at his wide receiver core, man.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's one of the worst teams I've ever seen. Yeah, you can maybe take a swing at Ken Walker. Let's see if we got a guy with like a good running back core here. I mean, this guy's team makes a lot of sense. Maybe you could send Jameson Williams plus for Bill.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
That would make some sense. Even like given his situation, like I would be okay selling like Tedero McMillan straight for Kyron Williams if you could do it.
Yeah.
Like that would be something along those lines. And again, like go out, like we talked about, go out, get Tajay Spears, stash up, Tyler Algier, Brian Robinson, buy Shell Tootin, those type of high value handcuffs as well, and line your bench with those guys.
Dude, Elijah, about half that waiver wire list would be upgrades to his starting lineup.
Yeah, that's crazy. I like Darnell Mooney would be like his second best receiver who's on the waivers there, which is insane. But yeah, that's kind of the only thing I can think of at the moment is like maybe try and make a play for a running back using a Jamison Williams type, using a Matthew Golden type, even potentially using Tedero McMillan. I'd be willing to do if you're able to get a solidified RB, just because I don't want to be totally screwed at that position. I would rather have Vidal as like a flex for the short term as opposed to like my running back 1 or 2. Because if he's a flex and he loses his job to Haskins or something, then, no harm, no foul. You can play a wide receiver in the flex or whatever. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want him to be like a relied upon running back for me, which he kind of is in your situation right now.
Dude, talk about the guy with 4 tight ends.
Yeah, imagine being that bad at fantasy is a good way to put it. But yeah, definitely some moves to be made. Good thing is you're 4-2 and you can weather the storm a little bit of Amari and Hampton being out. I'm not opposed to selling Amari and Hampton. If you guys have Hampton out there and you're able to flip him into a mid RB2 type, like a high end RB2, I'm trying to think like off the top of my head, like the Scattaboo Breece Hall territory. If you're able to flip Hampton into one of those guys, I would be willing to do it, knowing that, Hampton, if you're not in position to hold him, might end up being out for 4 to 6 more weeks at this point in time, based on the reports we've heard.
Corey, I got to give you credit as well. By the way, I do see in Debbie Disciples, you got an uncontested Kendrick Bourne and Bam Knight on the waivers.
Yeah, I did. Isn't that insane? So what league was it? I dropped all $300 of my fab in 3 different dynasty leagues on Kamani Vidal last week too.
Let's go. That's hype.
Yeah. So normally this is kind of like a throw on my part. In years past, I haven't really paid attention to waivers in dynasty leagues just because it's dynasty. There's not.
I still don't sometimes though.
Like sometimes I forget. But this year I've been like, no, pay attention to waivers, especially when there's a week where there is a Bam Knight type who's one of the top ads where I'm like, he's got to be on some dynasty waiver wires, like off the top of my head thinking that.
Yeah, and then people are fucking people are just not checking their waiver wires in dynasty leagues.
No, especially people who are in a lot of dynasty leagues. And I've actually made like a couple of really good ads in dynasty leagues. Like you just said, I added Kendrick Bourne and fucking Bam Knight for like uncontested fab or whatever.
Yeah, that was tippable. Also, I finally sold one of my tight ends. Shout out Flet. He's playing you this week. You could have had Ertz for a third, but now he's going to Fletsky.
That's fine. I wish I could talk to you about this on stream, but I can't spoil who I traded for. Let me just put it this way. I made the trade with the person I made the trade with. I almost spoiled who it was. Knowing full well that my lineup was set already. So I could maybe hold an extra player for the whole week. But now I can't for 2 reasons. Number one, because the person I traded for might actually play. And then number 2, one of the guys that I have in my flexes might not play now. And I could spoil who that is. Like Josh Downs might not play.
Yeah, which by the way, did he suffer the concussion on that play that he did the dance?
I think he might have. Yeah, it's possible. But I was going to start. What I was going to do this week was start Michael Mayer as my tight end and play Kyle Pitts in the flex because I have so many injuries and buys, like no Flowers, no Lamar, no Igbuka with injury, no Kincaid on bye as well. So I was just going to play 2 tight ends. But if the player that I traded for gets ruled in, then I'm going to have to drop Mayer most likely and just be like, okay, I guess I'm going to sacrifice some of those points because maybe I can sell Mayer to somebody who wants a tight end upgrade for like some fab or something like that.
Good luck.
Because Bauer still isn't practicing. Like, and Mayer is a great play this week.
Yeah, I mean,
good luck. Top 8 tight end in my rankings this week.
Good luck just selling anything for anything.
Yeah, fair enough. I have a top 3 fantasy quarterback as my backup right now, and nobody fucking cares. My only hope actually is to sell him to you. And now you might be more interested in him now that you don't have Jaden Daniels.
I would, but like I wouldn't give substantial value.
You know you want Dak. Come on now.
Literally, I'm not even joking you, and this is with me being the Dak fan. I have Caleb Williams. I would do something along the lines of quite literally Bam Knight in a few fab. Like I can't do anything more.
I'm honestly ready to do some shit like that because there's nothing else I'm gonna get from this guy.
Like I would give you like Bam in a few bucks, like seriously. And I know like people are gonna hear that. Well, Dax, but I'm telling you right now, the quarterback market in the flock league is fucking dead. And people are like, "Oh, Danny, you got hosed on the Puka London Daniels." It was like, Dane Daniels top 3 quarterback. It's like, yeah, he's not getting offers as a top 3 quarterback. Like if I could sell him as a top 3 quarterback, I would have sold him at that market value. That's
in
not
some
being
leagues,
available.
I might have gotten like a wide receiver 2 for Dak by this point.
Hopped in for a live trade. Wait, what?
We were kind of talking about a trade potentially with Dak, is what he's saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like if it's like Bam and a few bucks, I would do it. But like otherwise,
What if it was like, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, what if would you be married to the idea of keeping Kraft? What if I gave you one of my tight ends plus Dak?
No.
Why?
Because I'm keeping Kraft. He's top 5 tight end in my rankings, and the position is.
What about like giving me like Spears and a couple fab instead?
Dude, I just told you. I think in 2 weeks, Tajay Spears is gonna be the starter. I'm not gonna sell him for a quarterback as a backup.
Okay. What if I gave you Pacheco and Dak for Warren?
I'm good. Honestly,
Pacheco's got that up arrow, baby. That got like 300,000 impressions on Twitter when I tweeted that out. I was like, why do people care about this?
Dude, they're like you. They're on they know what they're getting.
We're on that Pacheco hopium train out here.
Also,
do you have Jamar Chase weekly ranked as wide receiver 60? No.
You probably just haven't adjusted him, maybe?
He should be not that. He's wide receiver 4 in my weekly rankings right now. I'm looking at them.
Dev error then? Like that's the only thing I could.
I mean, I just hit publish again. Maybe it was for some reason not updated.
Probably that happens sometimes if you're stuck in the screen.
I have updated my weekly rankings every day this week, so I mean, it shouldn't be an issue. I'll hit publish on every position again, but everything should be good to go. Anyways, let's get through some more questions here. Cam Scottaboo, Quentin Johnson, Tedero, McMillan. Scottaboo's got to be in your lineup, and then T-Max probably over QJ.
Yeah, and I was gonna say one thing. Full tight end premium. So keep that in mind. Full tight end premium. You go in Stephon Diggs or Hunter Henry.
2x, you said?
2x.
Yeah, I would start Hunter Henry then.
Yeah, that's the debate I have in the flocked up league.
Yeah. Tight end help. Rico at flex, but iffy if Chuba returns. Yeah, I mean, if Chuba returns, what are you doing with Rico?
I honestly think he's going to be the starter regardless, dude. I think at least this week he's going to be a 65-70% guy because Chuba's limited coming in, and I think it's probably going to end up being like a 55-60 split in favor of Rico. That's my best guess. I have
both of them ranked outside of my top 24 running backs. Both of them.
Oh, I have Rico.
I'm kind of just like not. I actually technically Hubbard's 24 for me, but
I have Rico way higher than you.
That's fine. I just am not. I'm not excited about Dowdle with Chuba probably coming back. That's kind of my thought process on it.
So last time that Chuba played, he re-aggravated the injury. So I think they're going to be very cautious with his usage, and he's more so going to be able to spell Rico.
For sure.
So keep that in mind when that's the context I'm giving to where I have him ranked. Rico Dowdle's my RB14 this week. I think against the Jets, he's going to smash.
Maybe. I just don't. I don't think he's going to get the full workload, and I think that Hubbard's going to play because it sounded like Hubbard was close to coming back last week and didn't. So
it really just depends what stance you are. For me, I'm on the stance that like I legit think at least for this week, Rico Dowdle's still gonna be a bell cow for one more.
Maybe, yeah. Zach Ertz at a 55-point over/under game over Mason Taylor all day for me. Rico Dowdle in the flex, I'm assuming over these guys. Yeah, you're not messing with. I mean, Kendrick Bourne would be the next closest probably, but I'm probably still going Rico there.
Who are the wide receivers?
McMillan, St. Brown.
Yeah. Okay, you're not making a move there.
I mean, Kendrick Bourne. Maybe if Hubbard's ruled in, like full practice on Friday, no limitations. Maybe you go with Kendrick Bourne, but I think I'd still probably lean towards Rico there.
Kittle's back too. Just go Rico. The Panthers legitimately look great running the football. Even in worst case, I would say worst case scenario, Rico Dowdle gets 40% of the work, and he could still get there against the Jets. And I would say that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, worst case scenario to me is like 5-10% of what the previous workload was when Hubbard was last healthy. Which would be about 40% of the work. So
very worst too, by the way, boys.
Gridiron God. Well, that's kind of more so my expectation, but yeah, I think it's probably going to be like a 50-50 split if I had to guess. Gridiron God, NH, 2 and 4, too risky to trade for Evans, like ETN over AK. I mean, I like ETN way over AK, and I'm very much okay making this deal because Evans
is back this week,
most likely too.
Evans is back this week. I'm doing this.
Yeah, he was limited in practice today, and keep in mind today's Thursday and they play on Monday, so this is technically a Wednesday practice in terms of like the thing.
The
And
fact that
Evans
he's
is
back.
like in year 10, 11 of his career, so he doesn't even usually practice on Wednesdays anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if he was still hurt, he wouldn't be practicing on a Wednesday. The Tampa Bay's too sharp to let that happen. Did I say
Yeah,
sharp?
he also kind of owns Detroit as well.
Um,
Detroit, by the way, has absolutely no fucking corners or safeties because Branch
Yeah.
is suspended for this game too.
yeah, he got suspended with the fight, right?
Yeah, not a
Yeah.
great situation for the Lions, but it's weakness on weakness. Bucks receiver core with hobbled Mike Evans, Tez Johnson, Cam Johnson, and fucking Sterling Shepard versus the Lions secondary. I still kind of like our odds in that situation, to be honest.
Stoppable force versus movable object.
Yeah, Tez is good, man. Tez is good. I'm starting him in a couple dynasty leagues where I had to dig deep.
Yeah, I picked him up in my home league, and hopefully he has a little week, so that way I can flip him. Because dude, I spent all week trying to consolidate in my league. Like I'm talking, like I have Saquon Barkley. I went to the Bijan guy. I say, hey, like how close does Barkley plus Adams get me to Bijan? He said if you throw in like he wanted Pickens on top of that. I'm like, I can't do that, but like, can we do anything else? He's like, nah, I got to keep Bijan. I'm like, fair enough. I hit up the Christian McCaffrey owner. It was the same thing. It was like Pickens, Adunze, and fucking Barkley. I'm like, okay, relax, buddy. Not like. It's funny how in the flock league I get Puka Nacua for a reasonable price, but then when you actually try to buy these elite players from your home league buddies, they want your fucking firstborn unless you're Corey. Because
unless they
somehow,
give me a gift in my inbox.
yeah, which I'm still not going to rationalize that. But basically, I would say that's the best explanation on the difference between my home league and your home league is your guys like will deal no matter what.
To be fair, like the guy that made that deal with me. Ward specifically, because like Simon and Ward co-own the team. Ward specifically, I could offer him a fleece deal against me like in years past, and he would just never trade with me. But I guess Simon's driving the train for like they needed a running back, and that's why they made the deal. But I'm still so shocked that happened.
Yeah, fuck man.
If I didn't have Hampton and Puka injured right now, I would be feeling very confident that I'm winning the league.
What's your record?
3-3.
Okay, that's still doable.
I still can't believe I was down 41 points going into Monday Night Football and Bijan got me there.
Oh, yeah, because you got the fucking bonuses in your league. You bastard.
Yeah, Bijan got me there. Plus, I had Ertz playing too, and he had 17 points. But even before he scored the touchdown, I already had won.
Yeah, I mean, also fucking, you know who are my two running backs and block me silly?
Who?
You know how I realized I only had two running backs and I went to go sub out the one that's on bye and I literally have nobody on my bench to put in. It's Jalen Wright and Ray Davis.
Oof. I don't want to play Jackson Dart in this matchup against the Broncos. Before last week, Fields rushed for 31 yards against the Broncos. Do you know what the rushing yardage output to Broncos opposing quarterbacks was before last week?
Before last week?
It was my stat of the day in the Denver and Jets game last week.
23 rushing yards on the season.
It was basically that, yes. And they held like the following quarterbacks to like sub 5 rushing yards. Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, and who was the other one? I'd have to pull it up, but it was another mobile guy. And Patrick Mahomes, I think, was the other one.
Yeah.
I was like, how the fuck did they held Mahomes to like 3 rushing yards, Hurts to like 2, and fucking Herbert to 5 or something like that. I was like, holy shit. So yeah, I'm not messing with Jackson Dart this week. Running back wise, Henry on bye. ETN is going to be a lock, as is Jalen Warren. Those are pretty straightforward. Wide receiver wise, we're looking at, I think Xavier Worthy's got to be in your lineup. I also, in the 2 flexes, I think you got to go with, I think Higgins is a good start this week, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
What's your definition of good?
The best of the options here, except for Evans, who would go in the flex because he plays on Monday.
Relatively speaking, though, like what are we referencing here as like he's a good option?
He is my wide receiver. Where is my weekly rankings? Where the hell are you, T. Higgins?
Also, I don't know where to put Evans.
Am I blind? Where the fuck is T. Higgins in my rankings? Oh, he's my wide receiver 29.
I have him exactly in the same spot, so I don't even think you're outrageous.
Yeah,
a lot of
Addison at 30, so he's 1 spot behind him.
I have Addison higher. I have Addison at 27.
Okay, well, I'm cool capitulate. But the reason I'm saying Higgins is because Higgins plays tonight. So that's why you play Higgins in this wide receiver spot, and then you would flex Addison and Evans.
Oh yeah, you can do that. I didn't realize that was part of the equation here. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
do
your
that.
flex decision
Yeah,
would be between Jamison Williams and Jordan Addison, which I'm cool going Jordan Addison in that situation. And
yeah.
then you're going to play Kyle Pitts over Mason Taylor there.
Where do you have Evans ranked on the week?
So I got to place him a little bit. I kind of just threw him somewhere because I didn't really know what to expect. He's actually not even in my rankings now.
Him or DK Metcalf?
I would probably rather play Metcalf. I
Him
think
or
I'm gonna
AJ
put
Brown?
Evans at 24 right now.
Okay, so I had him at 22. I had him right in front of Michael Pittman and Stephon Diggs, right behind Jalen Waddle and Chris Olave.
Yeah, I have Mike Evans at 23. Sorry. I have Quentin Johnson one spot ahead of him, AJ Brown one spot behind him. I mean, if Terry doesn't play, he would factor. I don't think Terry is going to play, but
I didn't have
I just placed him in case he does.
So I didn't have QJ in my top 40 simply because I don't know if he's going to play, but I will place him in there for now just so I don't forget about him.
I think he's practicing, no?
He's been limited though with a hammy. I just want to hear what happens.
Practice is fully on Thursday.
Oh, he practiced fully? Okay.
Yeah.
Last notification we got from last week was that he was limited.
Yeah. I mean, I would love for him not to play again as a Lad McConkey manager, but it looks like he's probably going to.
Where do you got QJ?
He's 22 in my rankings.
Okay, I'm gonna have him one spot ahead of AJ Brown. I'm gonna have him at 19.
Yeah, I have AJ at 24. So
yeah.
I'm
willing to buy into it a little bit because he did look a lot better.
Yeah.
The volume was there. The volume again, 3 games of 30 plus attempts, and he did just target alpha Devontae Smith, and he has been target alphaing Devontae Smith all year. It's just the play wasn't up to the caliber.
Yeah.
Him versus Olave versus I also have Waddle probably a lot lower than you just because of the weather implications in that game. I moved him to 22.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And to be honest, so full transparency, the way I have my tier set up is I have Amon on JSN in the top 2 because I would put Lamb in that tier, but it is his first game. I will just have him at the head of the next tier. So I have the A tier being Lamb down to 9, which is Nico Collins for me. 10 through 14 would be my next tier, which is George Pickens to Tetairoa and McMillan. And then I have a big cluster of 15 through 22, and I'm going to put Evans in that tier and possibly even up it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm going to end up with Evans probably at 20, right ahead of AJ Brown. Okay, so that was a live discussion.
Yeah, sorry, I'm adjusting where I have Lamb right now because I had to move him. I placed him kind of as if he was going to be on a pitch count at first.
Oh, I just moved him all the way up to 3.
Yeah, he's at my 5 now. I had him at 12 before because I didn't know what his role was going to be.
Reasonable. Also, 2 best guesses here: Jalen Waddle or Chris Olave. I would say.
I think it's going to be Olave personally. I think that the Saints would be more motivated to move Olave than the Dolphins would be to move Waddle personally. But
which is fair, but also could you imagine how electric a wide receiver duo of Jalen Waddle and Malik Neighbors would be? I mean, we just saw it in Miami before Tyreek Hill went crazy.
Yeah, literally. I think that Olave and Neighbors are actually better stylistic complements of each other.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Jackson would gain some dynasty value for sure if they traded for Olave and maybe even extended him.
Did you see the tweet? I don't agree with the trade, and I don't agree with the process of the trade, to be honest. But there was a fascinating trade. David posted. He traded Burrow for Jackson Dart. And I think I can see by the end of the season, Jackson Dart's this year's Bo Nix. It's we're looking back on it and okay, it wasn't really crazy. Because I think a lot of people are looking at it right now and be like, oh my God, the lens right now is it's completely outrageous.
It is completely outrageous.
But even accounting for that, I think if you're going to do that type of deal, how do you not get a pick insulated?
Yeah. If you're going to do that deal. It was remember David made the trade a couple of years ago of Justin Fields for Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
And he didn't insulate the trade. Or was that the trade?
It was something like that.
Or was it Derrick Henry was involved in the trade? No, it was Derrick Henry for Jalen Hurts. Wasn't that what the trade was?
No, that's what it was. I think it was Josh Allen for Justin Fields and Derrick Henry.
Right.
That's what it was, I think.
Yeah, and we were we both commented, I mean, I get being all in on Justin Fields or whatever, but you needed a first round pick attached to this trade.
Yeah. And then I think it got to oh, well, Henry's worth it first. And then we said, well, he's not by our rankings. And we said basically, if we're going to move down from Josh Allen, we would have needed the Fields pick. Plus, I think I said a 2-3 turn pick insulating. He said, you're never getting that. And I'm I disagree.
Yeah. Also, if I'm not getting that, then I'll just hold Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty simple. Also, shout out Arthur. I did not think you would be on the side of me acquiring a guy with an injury because you're always on the other side of that.
Well,
Arthur.
he also traded for Puka in the listener league, so
but
maybe
he did it when Puka was healthy.
He did, but he's probably still copium on
Fair.
Puka's health at the moment. But yeah,
Fair. Which I agree with you, Arthur, and I'm sure Corey. I'll let you take the stage because obviously I'm going to agree with my own side.
Yeah, I mean, I agreed with you, and I'm the only person in the video that was like, "Are you guys dumb? Like Puka Nacua is having a monster year. Like he might miss one game. Like we're gonna miss 16 games. Like we got a 16 game season out of Puka Nacua, and we're gonna say he's not worth a fucking Drake London plus." Again, Jaden Daniels in your guys' specific leagues is probably worth a third or a fourth round pick. In our league, Jaden Daniels is lucky to get you a starting running back in the NFL.
Dude, I could send Mason, Jaden Daniels for Travis Etienne, and you would be like, okay, but like, what does this app actually accomplish for me?
You could Mason.
Well, like, Mason's a bad example because he has
You could offer him Warren and Jaden Daniels, and he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and I will say, obviously, like if Mason didn't have Josh Allen, obviously with the context he has Josh Allen, he would just decline that deal. But let's just say he didn't have Josh Allen, and I offered it to him. Maybe he had Bo Nix or Brock Purdy or Jared Goff or somebody like someone like that as a starting quarterback. He would still say the exact same thing.
Yeah, I know exactly. But anyways, we should probably get through these questions a little faster. Chase Brown, Ladd McConkey for Devontae Smith and Ashton Genty. I like the Genty and Smitty side here pretty comfortably.
Agreed. I'm very
worried about Chase Brown.
I'm getting even more concerned by the fact that he is only getting 52% or 58% of the rushing team carries last week.
Yeah. 10 teams start 7. I just want Jamar here. This is a good deal though. This is a good offer.
It is.
B. Drake here, Kyron and Jordan Addison for Kamani Vidal and Breece Hall. I mean, I prefer both individual assets to the other, so this is pretty straightforward.
Arthur, like having Jacobs ranked higher than Puka?
Having Jacobs ranked higher than Puka is diabolical. That is diabolical, dude. How could you possibly say that Jacobs is a better fantasy asset than Puka?
But like, if you're going to say that, you also couldn't have earlier in the year criticized someone else for doing that in their rankings. Which I never did, by the way. I never did. He would always say I did. But then when he actually does it, like, it's all fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's wild. It's really strange. In the tight end spot, Michael Mayer, Harold Fannin, Cade Otton, Mason Taylor, Zach Ertz, Dalton Schultz. My highest ranked tight end here is Harold Fannin, dude. David Njoku is not practicing right now. But I love me some Michael Mayer this week, too.
Woo! I have Mayer the highest. So I have it 10, 12, 13, and 14, actually, because Taylor's after them.
These are actually 9, 10, and then I have Ertz is my next highest at 13.
I have it, so Mayer 10, Fannin 12, Otton 13, Ertz 14, Taylor 15.
I moved Otton down to 17 just because it does look like Evans is going to end up playing. If Otton was totally alone in that receiver core, I would probably have him like 12 or 13. But Ertz game environment wise, I lean towards Ertz over Otton. But Fannin without David Njoku, I mean, we could be talking about a guy that legit has like 10, 12 targets this week.
Yeah, also reasonable with in terms of context for Zach Ertz. I will also make that change because with Zach Ertz, both Debo and Terry McLaurin didn't practice.
Yeah, literally. Frag D here, Dak Prescott or Drake May. This is QB 2 and 3 for me on the week. But I do have Prescott higher. So I will roll with Prescott here.
Yeah, so I have them QB 3 and 4. I have Dak Prescott at quarterback 3. I have May at quarterback 4. The reason why I do lean Dak is this is the highest over-under game of the entire slate.
It's not even close. It's like 3 points higher than every other game.
It's almost a 55-point over-under, dude.
It is 55 points right now.
It is. Oh, it's okay because it was 54.5 last time I saw it. It's 55 now.
Game too.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, the Cowboys are plus 120 in this game, and that's with the context of knowing that Debo Samuel and Terry McLaurin didn't practice on Thursday. They're going to be favored by about 2 or 3 points by the time the game kicks off. Like, I think that line's going to change dramatically in the next few days.
That would be interesting to track.
It was minus 2.5 last time I saw it for Washington.
It is currently minus 1.5, so it has moved since then.
Yeah, I think that's going to keep going, especially like again, Debo and Terry McLaurin did not practice today.
Well, and this is also on the heels of Lamb being announced as well. which was expected, but it's confirmed now pretty much.
Yeah. Well, and I think the part of it too is it got confirmed, but also confirmed like there's not a pitch count because that was also a possibility prior to that announcement.
Yeah, Damien, yes, any questions that come in, we will get to tonight.
Sure.
Jordan Mason over these guys. Do you have Jordan Mason over Alvin Kamara this week?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Tight end
as well? Mason Taylor, TJ Hawkinson. Of those two options, do you have a strong preference there? I slightly lean towards Hawkinson, but I don't really like either of them this week that much.
I got Taylor.
Like
Taylor, no Garrett Wilson, a lot of volume outside of last week, but Denver, weird game, London game. Garrett Wilson gets.
Yeah, Carolina is an easier matchup. They're 15 and 7 and 18 for me, so I'll capitulate to Mason Taylor, but I do technically prefer Hawkinson.
Yeah, because Fields threw for 40 yards last week. I'm sure that's going to bounce back, even if it's not pretty.
45 this week.
But like, even if it's not pretty, dude, it's like, how hard is it for a starting quarterback to get 3 digits?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
And given the state of the receiving core, it's like if he has 3-digit passing yards, like even 100 passing yards, like Mason Taylor should have a 4 for 40 game.
Yeah, no, exactly. Next up, we have the flex decision here on Nico Collins.
Yeah.
How the hell is
what? Dude, go make a fucking trade. What am I looking at?
Yeah, I mean, in a start 7, you have Collins, Odunze, JSN, and St. Brown. You got nutted on these receivers. It sounds like he started his draft with St. Brown, Collins, and JSN.
Frog. The fact that I'm looking at a starting lineup with Jordan Mason in it and Rome Odunze out of it right now, go make a trade. Also, I have Rome Odunze ranked higher than Nico, but I will capitulate because that's the same tier.
Yeah, not to mention you're starting Mason Taylor at tight end. Like, go trade one of these players for a tight. Go get Trey McBride if you want to. Like, there's no reason you should be starting Mason Taylor and Jordan Mason and Romo Dunze is on your bench. But yeah, we can keep going here. BBG Assassin, Baby Girl Assassin. Shout out. Zonovan Knight, Nick Chubb, Michael Carter. I guess.
So I can speak on this a little bit because obviously I've looked pretty in depth at the Bam versus Nick Chubb decision prior to in my home league, of course, prior to this week. I think I lean Nick Chubb because realistically 50% of the team carries for the Cardinals versus 50% of the team carries for the Texans. I'd rather take the
Seahawks though.
They're both gross situations. They play the Packers.
Yeah,
Cardinals.
It's not great.
Like at least give me the chance that Nick Chubb punches one in the end zone because Woody Marks is still a scat back.
Yeah, I'll take that. We did get a lot of questions added since we went live here, so we do actually have about 30 questions still, so we should probably power through here. Jay Moose, full PPR, Puka, Odunze, Rice, Nico, running backs, QJ, ETN, Quinshon Judkins, ETN, Vidal, Holden Trust, who's WW?
Waiver wire.
Is that waiver wire or is that a player?
I have no clue who WW
Trade
is.
Running backs for RB1 or wide receiver / running back for RB1. Okay, so maybe come up with some trade ideas based on this. Puka Nacua, Odunze, Rice, Nico. I mean, those guys are all like absolute studs. If you wanted to transition one of those guys, I'd be cool taking like Odunze plus Vidal to a team that needs wins right now and seeing if you can go get a hammer running back. Like, does that guy have Saquon Barkley, for example, or James Cook or Jahmyr Gibbs? Yeah, those type of guys.
Yeah. Funny enough, actually, that just reminds me in my home league too, because I was offering somebody. I basically went to Rob and I said, "How do you value Barkley versus Gibbs?" And he said same tier. So I might try to make that transition because I do prefer Gibbs.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Jahmyr Gibbs still one of the best assets to trade for in all of fantasy football right now, for sure. Let's get back to the questions here. Again, we do have, 39 questions here. So we got to rip through here. J. Rodrigue, 245, Quentin Johnston for JMO and DK Metcalf. I'll take DK Metcalf and JMO here. As much as I don't really love either of these players, it's kind of the same tier as QJ for me. For Metcalf.
Yeah, pretty much.
Neither of them are like uber reliable guys. Lamb and Bowers for Cook, Pickens, and Flowers.
I'm still taking Lamb. What's your role with Bijan?
Yeah, my rule with Bijan is not my rule for Lamb, so I will actually take the Cook, Pickens, and Flowers side. Given how Pickens is producing, I think Flowers is one of the best buy lows in all of wide receiver land, and I think Cook might be, other than Gibbs, probably the best buy low at running back.
Yeah, I mean, if you need depth, I think it's perfectly reasonable. But in a start 7, if Puka Nacua is fully healthy, which I think he is, like I would say he's the favorite to be the first overall receiver.
I'm actually more worried about Bowers in this deal than anything, to be honest.
Yeah, fair. I mean, could you get Bowers out of it and then take out like a Pickens? Like if you, oh, he's giving up Bowers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, like, I'm cool just moving off of Bowers because I feel like he probably has like another tight end option, most likely. Like, maybe, I mean, Mason Taylor, K. Dotton isn't great. I mean, Kyle Pitts is on the waivers. Go pick up Kyle Pitts.
Maybe, but again, in a start 7, he needs running back. Honestly, this is probably one of the few times I would say, given the specific context of your team, I think I actually do lean the package.
Yeah, James Cook is a pretty big needle mover for his running back core, given what he's dealing with there.
Well, knowing that you're injured, knowing specifically you're not going to be with the Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. might be out as well. You need players to start this week. George Pickens is still going to give you a top 12 to 15 guy at very minimum, in my opinion, rest of the season. Like he's going to be a T. Higgins from last year, 17, 18 point per game type of guy. I truthfully feel that because realistically, he's at 20.
We believe you, Danny. Don't worry. When you say something optimistic about the Cowboys, we all believe you.
No, but realistically, he's at 20.7 right now. It's like, even if he's a 16.5 point per game guy rest away, like that's still going to end up being an 18.5 point per game guy by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Or 18 point per game guy.
For sure.
But yeah.
1-5 this year, soft rebuild, get 101 in the deal. So he's selling Gibbs for the 101.
Mekhi Levin in this?
Late projected 1, and then a mid to late projected 2nd here.
You know it's going to be the 101. I think I do it.
Yeah, if you're certain this is the 101, I'm okay making this trade. This is about the teetering point of what I'd want to give Gibbs up, though, for. That's basically where I'm at with it.
So let me ask you this question. If this was Tedero and McMillan a first and a second, you're taking that side. So because we said in the video today, we view whether it's Lemon or Tyson, they're assuming they're going, 5th overall or 7th overall or 9th overall draft capital. They'll probably be about a Tedero and McMillan type of prospect. And if that's the case, it's like, if you know that's going to be the 101, I think this is perfect installation to make.
Yeah. Not to mention, what if it's a quarterback?
Yeah. That's another thing too. Like,
yeah. What if it's a quarterback, or what if it's, a top 12 drafted Jeremiah Love or something like that, who's going to be a top 3, like he's going to be close to Jahmyr Gibbs in value immediately.
He'd be like Hampton, yeah.
Yeah, and then you also get a mid to late 1 and a mid to late 2nd of insulation there. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good selling package given your situation. Caleb Williams is going to be my start over Daniel Jones in that matchup. I think he's got the better. Caleb with the New Orleans Saints matchup is the better matchup there.
Where do you have Caleb ranked this week?
He is QB 7 in my rankings.
I'm assuming the only difference we have is maybe you have Baker 1 spot ahead of him?
No, I have Herbert 1 spot ahead of him.
Ooh, I have Herbert way lower than you this week.
I think with QJ back, I just feel so good about all 3 of the receivers.
Colts defense too.
They're all. I would hear arguments for Caleb over Herbert for sure.
I'm surprised you didn't have Baker up there. To me,
at 8 for me. This is the tier for me is Caleb, Herbert, and Mayfield. It's just a tier of 3 guys because I have Mahomes, Hurts, May, and Prescott and Daniels in the other tier above.
Yeah, fair enough. I had Herbert a lot lower, but I will move him at least ahead of Darnold and Love. Just because of the wide receiver health. Because keep in mind too, I did my rankings without QJ in them because I assumed that the limited practice could probably hold them out. But now you have the full practice. I'll move Herbert up to 10, but again, gun in my head, he's not even this quarterback 1 I would start out of this game.
Really? I'd start Daniel Jones over him? I definitely would not. I have Daniel Jones at 13. At Chargers, not like a great road like it's tough travel, and also it's a good defense on the road. Like I'm not super excited about that matchup for Danny Dimes.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of it too, you have potential sneak equity, as we know, on the 1 yard line. He's been getting a couple touchdowns. Yeah. You got 4 rushing touchdowns this year. On top of that, I mean, quietly, decent volume. Again, it's nothing crazy, but for a mobile quarterback, he's giving you, 30 type of passing attempts per game on average. I mean, I'm looking at 30, 29, 33, 1 down game at 25, 34, 29. Like overall, you're looking at about 30 attempts. It's close, but I mean, I just trust the Colts offense more.
Yeah. We'll have to go about a minute per question, just by the way, going forward. CD is going to be in your lineup this week. That one's pretty straightforward. And then flex decision-wise, I think Jordan Mason probably the right answer there. And then Bowers, assuming he's out, AJ Barner's fine. You should probably have somebody better available on the waiver wire than AJ Barner. Like, is Cade Otton on the waiver wire? Is Michael Mayer on the waiver wire? There should be somebody better than AJ Barner out there. Nathan the dog here. Nathan, shout out. Happy birthday.
Damn, he evolved from a bug.
Yeah, Kendre Miller versus Michael Wilson. Yikes, dude. This is a tough decision. I guess if Marvin doesn't play, I'm cool going Michael Wilson.
I think that's the only answer. If Marvin doesn't play, you go Mike.
Well, he has Harrison in his lineup right now, so you might have to start both of these guys.
Oh, if that's the case, do not start Michael Wilson if Marv plays, then go Kendre.
Yeah, if Marvin plays, then go with Kendre, but I mean, he might be in a position where he has to start both of them, which is not great.
Gun of my head.
Gun of my head, yeah. Josh S. here. Breece Hall versus Bill. Who do you have higher this week?
Bill.
Bill? Yeah, I think that's probably the right answer given the game environment.
Yeah,
wide receiver-wise, Brian Thomas, Addison, Worthy, Smith. I have BTJ, the highest of this group.
Yes. Addison Worthy would be second.
Yeah, in the flex, I would go Breece Hall over Worthy, personally.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. With Rashee Rice coming back, if you wanted to make that tiebreaker because hey, at least you're getting the guaranteed touches with Breece, you could potentially get a Rashee Rice 12.
They do play the Raiders though, so
pass
I mean,
funnel.
It's possible that
Big
70-yard touchdown connects, and
that the Raiders are the definition of a pass funnel. Like, I don't know why like a bad football team is just so committed to stopping the run like they are, but like them and the Browns, like they love keeping you at 3.2 yards per carry. Oh, even if they're getting blown out, you will not be able to run the ball on those guys.
They get to go into their like team meetings and go watch the tape on Monday and go, great against the run defense. Great job.
Linebacker play was excellent.
Xavier Worthy just ran past you. But great run commitment. Breece Hall, Drake London, Jake Ferguson for CMC and Tucker Kraft. I think you got to go McCaffrey here.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, Kraft and Ferguson, it's probably a wash, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I look at it as, would you give London plus Breece Hall for Christian McCaffrey? And this goes back to
maybe a reasonable deal if you're looking to get some depth, but I just prefer McCaffrey.
Well, I mean, let's go back to it. It's basically relative value. I would say Jaden Daniels versus Breece Hall is about fair. And then Drake London, I gave for Puka. So it's like, you rationalize it. I basically did a similar deal to that to go get Puka, and Christian McCaffrey by the consensus is
healthy.
Yeah, that too. In fact, I think the consensus might actually prefer McCaffrey simply because they can't wait 1 week.
Yeah, pretty much. Jaden Daniels easily over Trevor Lawrence there. Running back wise, you're going to go. Sorry, not Isaiah Pacheco. Sorry, my heart's drawn to him.
You love him.
Chase Brown versus Pacheco. Who are you taking there?
Chase Brown versus Pacheco.
Probably Chase Brown, right?
Chase Brown.
Or are you taking Woody Marks over either of them?
Chase Brown.
Yeah, still Chase. Wide receiver wise, you going BTJ, the top guy there, and then probably Worthy, the second guy there.
Yes, and then we go flexes. Also, what is going on in chat? Sorry.
I'll take Israel and PPR. That's crazy. Marvin Harrison, if he plays, would be one of these flexes for sure. And then Pacheco is probably maybe you just want to throw a fucking dart at Josh Downs if he plays. But I mean, Downs is in a concussion protocol right now, so it's possible he doesn't play. I would say that Pacheco is probably the next best option here.
I would agree. You know how disgusting this would have sounded, by the way? I was about to ask, is it tight end premium? Because I think if it's tight end premium, AJ Barner would have been the best option.
Ew. Yeah. If Harrison is out, who would you start? Let's say Harrison's out. I mean, if Downs is in, but Harrison's out, you'd start Downs. Let's say both of them are out. You going Woody Marks here or Charbonnet?
Or Henderson.
Or Henderson.
Against Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably still go Marks over Henderson.
Yeah, that's close. That's close.
Yeah. Again, I'd say Harrison temporarily, but if Marks is the option that you pivot to, I think that's definitely fine. James Cook and JSN for Rashee Rice, Jahmyr Gibbs, and T-Mac.
Left side. What am I missing here? I look at it as Rashee Rice and Tedero McMillan versus JSN, and then I have Gibbs a couple spots higher than Cook.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
And not to mention, I mean, we're saying Rashee Rice and Tedero McMillan for JSN as if Rashee Rice in a week from now cannot be valued like JSN. Like if he goes out, I understand you. I understand you're pessimistic, but Corey, objectively speaking, if he went out there and he had 13 targets, 9 catches, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns, he would be in the tier 1.
And
by the
if he
market.
has 7 catches
Sure,
for 45 yards
sure.
and no touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's there now, Corey. I'm saying if he looked like, oh, he's fully healthy, he's the wide receiver one for Mahomes. Mahomes looks the best that he has in years. Like the market's going to rationalize him up there with like a Monter St. Brown and JSN.
I'm not
If he had,
going
like,
to still
you
after
don't,
one game. I won't.
Dude, you don't have to. I'm saying like if he had a 30, 35 point week, I think the market would vault him there.
Yeah. I think that's fair. In a Dynasty 2 quarterback league, you're selling Jaden Daniels and Cam Scatterbo, who I have to move up my Dynasty rankings at the moment. 3 early to mid first, plus an early to mid second, and some bum named JJ McCarthy.
I mean,
Scatterbo is more valuable than McCarthy is right now.
You're not wrong. I think unless you're rebuilding, I think it's the Daniel side. Just JJ's got like that Bryce Young stink to him right now, where like if you acquire JJ McCarthy, if you acquire Bryce Young on your dynasty team, you are unable to trade them to anybody.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Whitner, I see your message. We'll go back to your question in a second.
Yeah, sounds good. He was TJ Witt. Okay, sounds good. The new trade is BTJ Tet and Gibbs. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind when we go back to it. Yeah, unless you're rebuilding, I think you take Daniels here because I would say Daniels is probably worth the picks on its own, and then I think
Daniels is worth this package himself. To be honest,
he might be. I mean,
do it at least.
If
you could guarantee me that like 2 of these are 101, I would maybe consider it. I just I probably can't do this. I can't. I don't think I can sell Daniels for this.
Yeah, and it fucking sucks because I mean, realistically, I still have faith that hopefully JJ McCarthy can develop, but every single fucking sign would point otherwise right now.
Fucking sucks.
Every other sign would point otherwise. Well, that's what I'm saying, Corey. It's like objectively speaking, I want him to work out. I'm rooting for him to work out, but what the fuck else am I supposed to do?
Yeah, he's bad. He might be really bad. Okay, so Witt said
BTJ Tet and Gibbs.
BTJ Tet and Gibbs instead of Rice. So you're getting rid of BTJ instead of Rice in this.
I do that.
For JSN Cook, and you'd also be getting Hunter back as well.
I would do that.
Yeah, I would rather do that trade for sure than the one that you submitted previous.
By the way, shout out. So I'm assuming it's TJ Whitner. When I saw Whitner 3, I'm sure you're enough of an old head like me to immediately think of Dante Hittner.
Is that a hockey player?
You don't know who Dante Whitner is?
No, I don't.
Former strong safety for the 49ers. His nickname was Hinter because his nickname was Hittner because he was a headhunter.
Right.
You remember?
I mean, vaguely sounds familiar. For some reason, he might have just skipped through my. There was a period of time where I was.
That's my cousin. No way. Dante Whitner's his cousin.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude. Dante fucking Hittner.
He must have fallen. So there was a period of time that's like my football blind spot. 2007 to 2011. I was not that into football for those like 4 years. So if he was in that territory of play, then that's probably why I don't remember him.
He was the starting safety the year they played the Giants in the NFC Championship, and the Giants won an OT, right? On the game-winning field goal. That was the year they beat the Patriots the second time.
Was this the year that the 49ers were in the Super Bowl against the Ravens?
No, that was the following year 49ers made the Super Bowl against the Ravens. Whitner was on that team.
Okay.
The year before, they lost in the NFC Championship to the Giants, and then the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl because it was Mario Manningham with the down the sideline catch.
The first year I got back into football after not really paying too much attention to it for a couple of years was the year that Peyton Manning went to the Broncos, which was 2012, I believe.
2013 was the year he broke records. 2012 was great.
I was in grade 9, which was 2012. I'm pretty sure.
So 2012 was obviously Luck's rookie season. So the year before he would have had the neck injury, and then that year he would have signed for the Broncos. Did he play every game? I don't think he played every game the year there because I know 2013 was obviously the special year.
Yeah, he had a good year in 2012 too, though.
Yeah, and that was the year in 2013 where the Cowboys Broncos might have had quite literally, I'm not even joking with you, the best quarterback for quarterback performance I've ever seen in my life. Did you watch Romo versus Manning 2013? It was like
I know what game you're talking about.
You know what game I'm talking about. That was one of the best games ever.
Did he have 7 touchdowns, Peyton Manning, in that game?
I think
6 touchdowns, maybe. It was 6 or 7 touchdowns that he had in that game. I'm pretty sure it was Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
No, he had 7 touchdowns against the Ravens in the opener, and then we played them, I think, week 4 or week 5, and it came down to the end. We were down by 3 points. We had our offensive line on the field, and Tyron Smith stepped on Tony Romo's foot, and he threw the game-losing interception.
Right. Yes, I do.
By the way, after a game, he had a perfect passer rating, and guess what the narrative in the media was? Romo throws the losing interception when his lineman stepped on his foot on the throw.
Okay, we now have 35 seconds per question because of the Romo stories.
That was a rant.
Jameer Gibbs, DK Metcalf, George Kittle for Bucky Irving, Tedero McMillan, and CeeDee Lamb. Lamb and Gibbs basically a wash for me, but I do prefer the Bucky and T-Mac side to the rest of this deal. So I'll go with the CeeDee Lamb side. I know you'll agree because it's CeeDee Lamb.
Oh yeah, of course.
Jordan Mason, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Jordan Addison for Travis Etienne and T. Higgins.
Mason, Harrison, Addison, Etienne, Higgins. Give me the left side.
Yeah, I'll take the left side as well. I think essentially Higgins and Addison wash out, and it's Harrison and Mason for Etienne, which I would prefer Harrison and Mason slightly.
Sure.
Rundown information: Romo Dunze and Darren Waller for CeeDee Lamb. This is CeeDee Lamb, pretty easy.
These are my 2 guys.
Parm Bijan, shout out to Bijan. We may have to get to this one Sunday morning, so you want to send Parm Bijan a trade question on the house there, so because we're making him wait. Tajay Spears, Cortland Sutton, Ladd McConkey, and Wan'Dale Robinson. So McConkey and Sutton are basically a wash for me, and I do have McConkey higher, and I also have Wan'Dale higher than Spears, so that one's pretty straightforward.
Wait, go back to it.
It was Ladd and Wan'Dale for Spears and Sutton.
Yeah, I would take the Ladd and Wan'Dale side, just because I do prefer Ladd to Sutton. Wait, that was by your ranking. Sorry, let me check where I have them ranked.
They're probably close, I would imagine.
Let me see. Sorry, I have different rankings than you. Just looking at your rankings, I'm like, yeah, I got them higher. Let me look. So it was a Sutton and Ladd. Sutton I have at 20, Ladd at 21. I would actually take the other side. I mean, I traded Wan'Dale for Spears, so you know where I'm at there.
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely prefer Wan'Dale over two of them.
I have Sutton higher. Sorry, I'm not gonna lie. I was like half paying attention because
I have Ladd over Sutton.
I don't.
I have Ladd over Sutton. It's pro Ladd, not anti Sutton.
Yeah, fair enough.
Chuba and Jerry Jeudy for Harold Fannin in an early to mid second.
Left side.
Yeah.
Fannin over Jeudy, second at this point over Hubbard.
Yeah, once I update my Dynasty rankings again, I'll probably have Fannin over Jeudy in the next update. And then, early to mid second for Hubbard, I think is about fair. It's a pretty fair deal.
I'm not setting a second for Hubbard at this point. I don't even know if he's going to be the starter for the rest of the season.
I'm definitely still of the opinion he will be, but that's fair.
Yeah.
Jay Dollarsign, should I still accept if he counters with Rice?
Right side.
Yeah. Okay. So he counters with Rice, as in
counters with Rice for what? Check his team, I guess. Maybe either he has Rice or somebody else has. I don't know what counters with Rice.
What does Jay Dollarsign have here?
He has. So he has Rice. So
he has Lamb and Judkins and shit on his team. Does that mean he already? Yeah, he already made the deal.
Okay.
So he already he got this deal done because he has Judkins, Lamb, and Rice all on the same team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pierre 11, Rico for Jordan Addison. Yeah, I will take Jordan Addison there.
Let me look. They're going to be very close in my rankings. It was what? Addison and who? Addison?
I just get hit with the Rico.
Addison and Rico, got it. Rico is at or 66 overall for me. I have Addison at 64. So they're literally back to back. I think it depends on what side you need in terms of running back or receiver.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a pretty large gap between the two of them. Drake or Dak rest of season. I already have Drake, guy who is 3-3, trying to trade me Dak for a guy like Nico, Jacobs, McBride. Oh, holy shit. First of all, he's trying to trade you. Okay, don't trade Nico, Jacobs, or McBride for Dak Prescott. Let's just make that perfectly clear. And Drake and Dak, I prefer Dak slightly, but you're in the same tier. So
literally back to back.
An upgrade for you to do that. And definitely do not sell Nico, Jacobs, or McBride for Dak Prescott, knowing you have Drake May.
Literally back to back in my rankings, 6 and 7 rest of the season.
Yeah, there's no discernible difference really between those two quarterbacks for me.
It's like one with Dak, you're getting 40 plus pass attempts. You're getting potential league leader in terms of passing touchdowns, passing yards. Like he's in that range of
They're both going to be like 20 to 22 point per game quarterbacks. They're just going to get there in different ways.
Yeah, and Drake May, like you're banking on, okay, maybe he doesn't have the passing ceiling of Dak, but if he gives you 500 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns, it'll make up for it.
Yeah. Kamani Vidal and Jamison Williams for Amari and Hampton. I mean, if you're in a winning position, I'm definitely fine going and getting Hampton for this. Getting Vidal, like selling Vidal to the guy who is Hampton's probably context-wise, he's probably looking for wins. You give him JMO, who's an upside piece. I think if you're in a winning position here, that I'm totally fine making that move for Hampton. If you're not in a winning position, definitely don't do that. But if you are in one, Nathan, thanks for the team review. Very helpful. I mean,
so I figured it out, by the way, Corey. I mentioned this to you. Better Hornet, I think, is a fan of all of our channels, so he might just mistake where he sends what vouchers sometimes. Because I saw, for example, when I was watching a Mason stream, there's a lot of Bitter Hornets messages. Same thing with Domain, same thing with Lance. So I appreciate you, Better Hornet. I mean, it sounds like he's a big fan of all of us on the site. But if you did mean to send this to Domain, I can send you another voucher for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He just said thanks for the team review for the super message. So I mean, we'll pass on the super message to them.
Yeah, I got to send him one now.
Yeah, 2026 early to mid first for Javonte Williams. Come on now,
first rounder.
Yeah, give me the first rounder. Toodle. I only have Trevor Lawrence and he's on bye next week. I need a quarterback and there are 0 starters left on the wire. First, before I even look at this, I want to actually see what you qualify as 0 starters left on the wire.
Travis Hunter's available on the wire. What?
Yeah, okay.
And Jalen Coker and Trey Benson and
I mean, everybody's got like 3 QBs on their roster, probably. Yeah, like these guys all have 3 quarterbacks on their roster. This guy's Mayfield, Hurts, and Fields. Like that's
this guy's a fucking asshole.
Sand eater. Anyways, yeah, go pick up Travis Hunter. You can drop Trey Tucker, Darnell Mooney, or Zonovan. I mean, Zonovan Knight, maybe you want to hold on to. Kenneth Gainwell, Darnell Mooney, drop those guys for Travis Hunter all day.
Yo, nobody likes a quarterback order.
Yeah,
for real.
Back to the trade here. He'd be trading away Sutton and Gainwell for Fields.
Garbage,
no, dude.
That's fucking garbage. You know what you do? You go counter back and send it for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I would honestly just buy whatever the cheapest possible QB starter you can get is. And even, honestly, I'm cool just like, is Dylan Gabriel on the wire or something? Like, just literally throw anybody out there. Rattler, like anybody. I don't give a shit.
Anybody,
if it's just for a bye week fill-in.
So like, throw Aaron Rodgers in tonight. Throw Joe Flacco in, bro.
Yeah, like if it's just for a bye week fill-in, I'm not going to get out of, sending trades for a bye week fill-in. There's no way I'm doing that.
Also, I was gonna say let me address something, but we have to go, and I'll address it after. So let's go next. My bad.
Gadgets, Jordan Addison, Lad McConkey for AJ
side.
Brown and Keenan Allen. I have both ranked above both. So I mean, I'm going Lad McConkey over and Addison side. Maybe I'm on an island here, but I have McConkey over AJ Brown and Addison over Keenan. So I guess I'm just the pro Lad guy, apparently. But you know how you said like, oh, the dots connected for BTJ last week? That's kind of how I feel about McConkey.
Fair. I just think without QJ, we do have to bake that in a little bit. I have AJ Brown still over Lad. So Keenan is wide receiver. Where is he? Wide receiver 38 for me the rest of the season? No, that can't be right. Wide receiver 35 for me this season. Okay, I misread it.
That's where I have him as well.
Versus Addison is wide receiver 31. I think it's about as even of a trade as we can.
Yeah, and given my rankings, I definitely prefer the Lad side, but it's a little closer in Danny's. Dez 129, 1 and 5 got this offer. Might be a little bit thin at running back. So you're selling Scadaboo and Walker for Odunze.
Yeah, you get the best player, and you could not get Shaheed in this deal, and I wouldn't give a fuck.
I mean, you're going to be starting Chase Brown, Jordan Mason, Rico. Like you find, I think that's probably fair.
That'll get you by. And not to mention his wide receiver core is struggling for an alpha right now.
Yeah. Can you, instead of getting Shaheed, can you get him to throw you like, I guess he won't throw you Addison probably. Yeah. It's probably
Tucker Kraft's on waivers and Travis Hunter's on waivers.
Tucker Kraft doing on waivers. Yeah. You have Jake Ferguson, but I'm fine just even picking up Tucker Kraft anyways. Maybe this is
tight end every week.
This is all my homies hate tight ends league.
Oh, hell no. Is there like not a tight end slot maybe?
This is a league of me and Arthur's.
Yeah, no cap. It's funny that we all waited on tight end. We all actually got like steady options.
Yeah, I'm Dallas Goedert, man. He's been so good. Dallas Goedert and bullshit push passes have been a great combination this year.
Yeah, you absolutely take that.
Yeah, for some reason, this is not refreshing for me. Come on.
I'ma get on this TV, mama. I'ma push it down.
For some reason, this is not refreshing. Come on.
Do you think about me now and then?
Why the hell is this not refreshing here? Okay. For some reason, it's making me put the link in again.
Are you not cooking?
Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Start streaming. Is this going to actually refresh?
Oh, kind of big deal happened in this league. Okay.
I might have to log out and log back in. Give me 1 second.
Ron just traded for Jack Besh in the Dynasty League I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, who could possibly not know about that? Jack Besh on the move. Huge deal.
Breaker. You good on your end?
This is still fucking not working for me.
Okay, I will address this because I saw Carlos say it. Need some copium for Hunter and Loveland. My league mates are roasting me. Copium for Loveland. He came off of a hip injury. It was off to the bye. We'll see if the workload ends up increasing the second week off of the injury. In terms of Travis Hunter, literally yesterday we had a quote from Liam Cohn saying they need to get him the ball more and they need to make him the first read in the progression more. So, like, if you want copium, that's your copium.
Yeah, Danny, I'm going to need you to pull this up on your end if you can see it because it's not working for me for some reason.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to set my lineups too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll power through the last couple questions so we can get off here a little early still if possible. Fake spicy here to roast. Another great week to be a Travis Hunter.
Can you paste the YouTube link into the private chat because I don't have the YouTube pulled up right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, for some reason my refresh button is just frozen.
Nope, it's the site.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun.
Well, we can do it in non-streamer mode and then just like I can manually type in like the
I can't even see the questions. Like I'm refreshing the questions.
Oh, right even now. In non-streamer mode?
Even in non-streamer mode, I can't even see the questions.
Oh, dude, this is
we're having a crash out on the site.
This is not what can be happening right now.
I mean, if worst case scenario, Danny, all we have to do is if there were any questions that pertain to tonight, we can send out vouchers. And if maybe the questions aren't even relevant to today, we can just answer them Sunday.
That's
apologies if anybody hasn't had their question answered yet. Our site is bugging hard right now.
Yeah. Again, apologies. That this was not anticipated.
I think I think I just heard someone in the Discord.
Yeah, Damien. Honestly, leave it in chat. We'll just fucking answer it.
Yeah, whoever, if you guys have questions that you asked on the site that are definitely relevant to tonight. Zach just set his streamer mode down for anybody else. We cannot refresh questions right now, is what Zach just said in the creator chat. Okay, so yeah, it's a site wide issue by the looks of it.
Some guy was trying to sell me bar. Colorado, we went through it, but I'll just flash it on the screen real quick. So this was mine. Chase Brown, lower than 64.5 rush plus receiving. Jalen Warren higher than a touchdown. Joe Flacco higher than 36.5 pass attempts. I believe this is yours, right? No, who's yours?
Mine's right there. Yeah. I got a KD gimme pick there, and then Jalen Warren lower than receiving yards. Andre Yoshivach higher than receptions. Jamar Chase higher than receiving yards, and then Kenneth Gainwell lower rushing yards as well.
What are they saying in terms of right now?
Mason and Zach are both saying stream issues to the devs.
Gotcha. Okay, so they know at least.
Yeah, it looks like we're all having the same issue then.
Makes sense.
Because we all stream simultaneously at the same time. Maybe it's just getting overloaded.
Yeah, that actually would make sense. We also have the flock call after this too.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm fucking setting my lineup and flocking right now, and I finally get.
If you guys have any questions, here's the bright side of the site's crashing out on us. You guys get pro bono questions here. So Esteban, the site is bugging on our end right now. The devs, I'm sure, are working on a solution. If you just repeat your question in the chat, we will answer it for you ASAP, and we'll also send out vouchers to anybody who did not get a question answered that did submit a question that was looking for an answer tonight. So
appreciate that, FGG.
Okay. Yeah. Metro Boomin said, I sent a question. Start to AJ Brown, Chase Brown, Quentin Johnson. I'd roll with two receivers there. I would sit Chase Brown tonight.
I'm assuming he's asking that because, of course, Quentin Johnson, he was kind of banged up. We don't know if he returned.
He practiced in full today.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's probably the rationale here. Let's hope so, by the way, Carlos. Of course. If you guys can leave your quick. Already. Okay, perfect. Start for HN and RB1, JCM, Judkins, BTJ, Quentin Johnson, Pittman, McLaurin, Vidal. JCM, Judkins locked.
Yeah, the
JCM
first
Justin's
3
lock.
are locks for me,
It
and
can be
then I
TJ.
would probably start Pittman of the next options.
I would go QJ over Pittman, but if there's no downs, then I'd probably move Pittman over him, which it sounds like there's going to be no downs, so I think I agree with you.
I think the Steelers win, but the Bengals cover the 5.5, if I had to guess.
The Steelers are my Survivor League pick this week.
Yeah, that's a trap game. You never pick a Survivor pick on Thursday Night Football ever.
Respectfully, I was going to pick the Patriots, but there's just better opportunity spots after this week. And like you said, I don't need them to cover. I just need them to win.
I guess I would bank Steelers on the road on Thursday Night Football. That is a trap and a half.
It's 100% risky. But the Bengals are missing Trey Hendrickson and their number 1 corner.
Yeah, that's fair. We paid for one in a Dynasty 12-man Superflex tight end premium. Taylor and Henderson for our first, about 105, an early third and a late third. Okay. So Mason Taylor and Trevion Henderson for a 105 and 2 threes. In a 2x tight end premium. I like Taylor and Henderson there.
I do too. My best advice here would be it just depends how you feel on Trevion Henderson. I'm still believing in him. Obviously, I did have to move him down. Again, we're going to do our Dynasty update probably next week, I would assume, Corey.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it over the weekend.
And I will too. And he's probably going to go down, but he's still going to be a top 12-ish level running back because the thesis is there that you're getting a day 2 guy that eventually on his rookie contract you're betting on to be an RB1 in fantasy.
Yeah, for sure. It's Serge, if you want to submit it again, you can, but we will. If it was just a trade question and you feel like you can wait till Sunday morning, we will answer it. But if you want to answer ASAP, definitely submit it or just type it in the chat. I traded Josh Jacobs for Henry in a 27 late first.
That's reasonable.
I think that's probably reasonable. You get the insulation of the late one and still good productive running back. Yeah, it's a good way to get younger.
Yeah, realistically,
not get younger, but like get a productive running back and then also bank a draft pick.
I think this is just good process, honestly. Like when I'm looking at this deal, you're saying, hey, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, they're both short-term assets to give me production. So let me bank in a first on late first rounder in the 2026 last. If you asked us 3 months ago, our tunes would have been different.
27-1.
Oh, 27-1, even better then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Given the market hype, at least. Obviously, we're higher in the 2026 class, but you ask all the Dynasty market, I would say probably about 80 to 85% of people would probably say a 27 first they would rather have right now.
Yeah, probably. Jalen Warren or Bill? I'd rather start Bill this week. And rest of season, I would also prefer Bill as well.
Agreed.
Thanks, boys. Have a good Thursday. No problem, Metro. I sent a question. BTJ versus Jalen Warren. Is the Cincinnati matchup good enough? I would still start Brian Thomas Jr., I think.
So if this is a full PPR, go BTJ. If it's a half PPR, I'd probably go Warren because of the touchdown equity.
Yeah, that's fair. The question I submitted for tonight was if I give away DK and Olave and get Jalen Warren and Worthy, keep in mind my RB3 is Kyle Menengai. So
I'm still doing that.
Yeah.
I prefer Worthy to either receiver.
Prefer DK and Olave side there.
Face value,
but DK, Worthy, and Olave are all kind of within the same tier for me, and I do value Warren lesser of an asset. But if you're really desperate at running back, I suppose I could stomach this. I think it's a coin flip what happens with Worthy going forward. Like I don't think he's going to be like much more than like a 5th round kind of value redraft asset, more or less.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
And I actually think that this target equity and whatnot that DK is getting is somewhat sustainable. And I think Olave's obviously getting that too. As a Bengals fan, to quote Cameron Ward, we ass. My question was, should I trade Devontae and Jacoby for BTJ and Terry? Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers for BTJ and Terry McLaurin. I have Puka on my team as well. Should I be worried about having the 2 Rams wide receivers? Also, how do you view Terry rest of the season? I mean, Terry's got to get fucking healthy for starters, but I wouldn't be worried about having both Rams wide receivers, but I actually do like the BTJ and Terry side of this deal better.
Yeah, it's the upside because obviously with Devontae Adams, you feel a lot safer about him, like versus anything in this deal. But if BTJ keeps playing like the way he looked last week, and you're getting that Jacoby for Terry upgrade again, assuming Terry maybe not next week he returns, but maybe within the next couple of weeks, you're getting a potential top 2 wide receiver for a quarterback at that point. It's going to be four weeks removed from his injury. Yeah, I think I do it too.
Yeah, I think you gotta make that move personally, just given the upside of what that deal could look like.
Hey, shout out Joe, by the way. He said he sent in a team review. We told him if you can liquidate Jacobs, go and do it. And he was able to get the Henry in the first side for Jacobs. So, and then now, if Henry has a big week and you can liquidate him for maybe Derrick Henry plus a 2 gets you a 1.
Yeah, that's very solid. Pollard, Hunter, or Henderson. I'd take the upside of Hunter, man. Given the comments that they're giving him, I mean, Pollard.
Call me crazy.
He's probably gonna be splitting snaps with Spears at some point.
I have Pollard and Spears on my fantasy team. I would start Spears.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think that's a little overboard because you have Spears currently on your fantasy team and not Pollard.
not even that. It's the snaps. It's the 22 routes versus the 4 routes, and it's the 4 receptions. And that was his second week off the injury. I think this is going to be a starting drop. What do the Titans have to gain by trotting out Tony Pollard 20 times a game? Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure.
Like, I mean, Spears is still on his rookie contract. At least see what you have with him, no?
Can't. Yeah, you could definitely see what you have in Spears at this point in time.
Random question, by the way. Sorry. Would you guys recommend trading Saquon for James Cook on 4 and 2? I would take James Cook here.
I
would take James Cook.
I think I would too.
Saquon Barkley is my RB8 rest of the season, and one great week from Javonte, one bad week from Saquon, and we might have to have an ugly discussion.
Crazy discussion.
Hey, dude, the fact that we even have to have the discussion right now when Javonte's outscoring him by 4 points per game. Javonte is outscoring Saquon Barkley by 4 points per game, Corey.
That is insane when you think about it.
Currently 5-1 have Puka, London, Pickens, running Henderson, and Spears RB2. Need to know what realistic move I can make to make me a real juggernaut. Well, I mean, obviously, if you can consolidate one of your wide receivers and go and get a running back, if you can take, I mean, Pickens is on a high right now. Can you take Pickens plus
Warren?
Yeah, or
I guess
even
Tyler Warren probably.
I was gonna say, we'll pick, I don't know who your other running backs outside of Henderson and Spears are, but if you can take Pickens plus literally any piece that's like a depth piece and go and see if you can get up to, if we're looking at running back, can you get Javonte? Can you get Quinshawn? Can you get Derrick Henry? Can you get Ashton Genty?
You might even get close to Gibbs, Barkley, or Cook with the way Pickens has played.
If you can, by all means. I'm just saying, like
Pickens plus Henderson for James Cook. Yeah. Like I would do that.
Yeah, if you can do that, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, if you had to take one, like right now, like what's the lowest running back tier? I think Judkins would probably be the lowest 1-for-1 running back I would compare to Pickens. So if you can get anything above that, that'd be great. Because if it's ETN, if it's Scattaboo, if it's JCM, like I would still Pickens at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Also, congrats on the Puka trade, Danny. Smash the trade.
Let's go.
In the league. I mean, okay, Sal's team is good. I just would be worried that once his running backs get banged up, his team kind of falls off a cliff a little bit. But and Mason has a good team, but he has definitely benefited from a lot of chaos in the season so far.
The best way I would describe it is if we're talking about week 8 in the Flock League, I have about an average team, and Sal and Mason are the 2 best teams in terms of like specifically if you were to rank what has happened so far and what's going to happen in week 8. Or week 7, sorry. I mixed up my weeks. But like, I don't play fantasy for who has the best looking team in week 7 and week 8. I play fantasy to win the fucking championship. I play fantasy because weeks 15, 16, and 17 matter. So when Mason has the opportunity to trade, I would say a running back on the highest he's ever going to be this year.
Not on Mason's team right now is a generational fucking fail.
Like I'm genuinely offended that Mason went up and had the audacity to ask Zach for Puka plus for Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. I would have given Zach, DK Metcalf, and Josh Jacobs so fast that I would have had a skid.
Not even joking. Like instantly.
Yeah. I'm surprised, like, especially given the state of his running back core versus the state of his wide receiver core as well.
I can't believe it, dude. You get the opportunity as a team that is trotting out Stephon Diggs and DK Metcalf in the fantasy playoffs. You have the opportunity of a lifetime to get the golden ticket, a guy that was averaging nearly 27 points per game when healthy, and all it costs you is Josh Jacobs and fucking DK Metcalf, and we're saying no?
And Zach probably says yes to that.
This event.
How Metcalf is producing and Jacobs running back wise is producing, like he probably says yes to that.
Well, Zach literally told me when we were on the call, he's like, yeah, like I would have done Jacobs and Metcalf, and I was basically told on the call when I hopped on it, if you're trying to get Jacobs, I prefer him to Puka, and I just ended the call.
That's
what he said.
That's crazy.
All jokes aside, we love Mason, but that is
reasonable ask from Zach. Like not at all.
100%.
Not at all unreasonable ask for Zach.
And all jokes aside, again, we fucking love you, Mason, especially, we want to rib you because this is outrageous, dude. You could have quite literally been not even the favorite in the league, but the bar none favorite. And now you're going to be trotting out Stephon Diggs and DK Metcalf in the fantasy playoffs. And sorry, if anybody wants to clip this, they can. Because
they can go ahead and clip this.
Go ahead.
I'll talk shit about Mason's strategy all day.
Go ahead.
Waddle, Tet, or Garrett Wilson, half PPR, starting these guys over any of these guys over Brees. I mean, Wilson is not going to play by the looks of it. So of the two options, I prefer Waddle to McMillan, given the matchup's a little bit yikes for McMillan this week.
Brother, Cleveland, Miami is going to be like 55 to 60 degree winds.
Yeah, that's a good point.
With Arnold, the arm talent in this game too. Dylan Gabriel versus Tua Tagovailoa in the wind.
Couple of noodles. Starting any of these guys over Brees? No, actually, I would start Brees over all of them.
And half PPR,
yeah. Stafford or Penix? I'd roll Stafford this week, even if Puka's out, I would still play Stafford. Infection. Yeah, staph infection, exactly. I'm pushing for an answer before he backs out. I give away Emeka, Kenneth Walker, and Troy Franklin to receive Puka and Pearsall. My only concern is that Aaron Jones becomes my RB2 alongside Genty. I mean, you're still smashing that deal any day of the week. Kenneth Walker isn't doing you any good for your lineup anyways. You can figure out your RB2 in other positions. Yes, and Danny's hammering smash as hard as he can. I did it. Yeah, okay, yeah, we talked about that already. Jefferson or Igbuka, late 1, Rashad White. Okay, so Jefferson for Igbuka, late 1, and Rashad White.
Igbuka is probably a top 10 to 12 dynasty wide receiver. I would take.
I think I'd still probably take Jefferson though, even if that's the case.
If Igbuka next season has a 1,200-yard year as a year 2 player, he's going to be ranked straight up over Jefferson.
Yeah.
So
I don't disagree with you. I definitely don't disagree with you, but it's still Justin Jefferson.
If you're contending this year, I understand it because Igbuka, he's going to miss a few weeks. Jefferson, top 3 to 5 for sure. But if we're projecting long term, I truly think all the upsides on the Igbuka side.
Yeah. Oh, there is definitely more upside. If it was not a late one, if it was like a mid to late one at least, then maybe you bake in a little bit more upside there. But a late one in 2026, we're talking like probably a 7th or 8th round startup asset. Like it's not enough to move the needle. Rashad White's a short term asset right now. If he was more of a long term guy, like if that was RJ Harvey instead of Rashad White, like I'd probably be a little bit more intrigued by that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Context, I have London as wide receiver 1. So what was his trade that he asked us? What did Serge ask us? Yeah. So he has London as wide receiver 1. Yeah, I'm so fine making that deal for Puka.
8:15 by the way.
Yes, it is 8:15. Okay, so the games have started, or the game has started. Sorry, just traded Vidal and Hampton for Breece Hall. Did I get cooked? No, I think that's fine. Given if you're down bad right now for wins.
Yep, facts. Also,
we got to hop into the call to record for the Flock League, but appreciate you guys for tuning in and dealing with our nonsense. Anybody who had a question that was submitted that they did not get an answer for, we will go through and send out vouchers to all of you guys, regardless, just for the trouble.
So if you're watching this right now and you sent a question, again, eventually we'll be able to go back and see the reviews. Just leave a DM saying, hey, I was supposed to be on Thursday, but you guys had this.
We'll see the timestamp on when a question came in.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll just, we'll send a voucher to literally everybody who had a question pending. I don't care if we actually answered it in the comments or not. We'll just send one to everybody who had a question pending.
Dude, I don't give a fuck if we answered in the comments.
So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Good luck to you in your matchups. I have T. Higgins going to my home league tonight, so I'm hoping for a big game out of him, and Pittsburgh Steelers defense in the Flock League. So big game out of either the Steelers defense, T. Higgins, or both. Appreciate you guys. Peace out. We'll talk to you soon.